She's speaking a second language.
You know how she learned English?
Yeah, you told me this.
Only television. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yeah. It is weird, though, whenever she swears, she always goes beep like that. That's weird. Right? When she's like, you can kiss my beep. And you're like, what? Oh, yeah, okay.
It'd be funny if she was perfect at doing like impressions of people she saw on TV because that's how she spoke English.
My new
Alex
girlfriend,
Trebek.
it's a Seinfeld episode.
Yeah.
And Jerry's new girlfriend learned everything from watching TV.
Yep.
But she just sounds like Columbo.
Yeah.
All the like a 25-year-old, no, it's Jerry Seinfeld. Like a 15-year-old girl. That was a great joke.
Yes.
And just like showing up and then being like, now one more thing before.
Yeah, I was
go."
gonna say,
You know what I mean?
right at the end of the episode.
You know, it'd be better. It'd be better if when she said
Columbo.
specific words, it was like the person she learned those words from. I was like, watch, get her to say potables. And it's like stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I do like the idea of narrowing it down to one completely juxtaposed voice.
Yes,
Like
yeah,
Columbo's
yeah,
voice.
that is fun. That is
and it's
fun.
like, oh, she grew up, she only watched Columbo
Yeah,
on
right.
VHS or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And now she's just like, nah, I just was wondering if I could. Oh, that's Natasha Lyonne.
Oh
Yeah, it's true. The
That's
gritty,
just
grumbly voice.
Natasha Lyonne.
Yeah,
right?
she is. Yeah.
Especially in
She
Poker
grew
Face.
up watching Columbo, and she just shows up and everything. So I was wondering, right?
Oh, Natasha Lyonne. I mean, this is podcast fodder, but
We're in it. This is already happening.
All right. She always has struck me as I'm like, what is she supposed to be? Like when she was in American Pie,
Yeah.
and when she was in another movie called The Slums of Beverly Hills,
Yeah.
I was like, this is quite an. I mean, I'm pro Leone. I like her. It's just always struck me as such an odd character.
I love her.
She is.
She's unique, and she's unique in an interesting way, right?
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, she feels like an old Jewish man when she talks. Like it's like
Yeah.
very weird.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of her career she pulls a mask off,
George Burns.
and it is Columbo.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's what
Peter Falk.
Falk.
Yeah.
Yeah. She falked us. You know, I don't know, but no, she's great, and she like that new show, Poker Face, is fantastic. Like
Yeah.
Ryan
I know.
Johnson nailed it. It's really fun.
I gotta watch it.
And she is, because she's just naturally that way and her voice sounds the way it does, she is Columbo in
Yeah.
that show. It's fantastic.
I
It's
heard other
really
good
great.
things, but I feel like you didn't like it that much.
No, there was one episode that I didn't care for at all. But
Oh, it was the Brad's an Idiot
Yeah.
episode. that was
happened?
weird.
I know there was a
There was a
penis in
guy
it.
named Brad who looked exactly like Brad,
Yeah.
who murdered a bunch of people
Yep.
Okay.
and
All
said
checks
while
out.
he was murdering them, I'm Brad Roar.
Yep.
All right.
And my penis is weird. Not
Yeah.
small, but weird.
He was very upfront about the difference.
yeah.
And you like to be more,
mysterious.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Natasha Lyonne, she's like, it is weird. It's
Yeah.
like, it's not small, but it's also
Small.
like, it's not ugly, but it's weird.
You know what's funny?
You
You're-
got a weird penis.
And then at the end of the
All right.
episode, it was just one more thing.
one more thing.
It's small.
It
and I'm
is
like,
also,
oh!
it
I
is
mean, Brad,
also
the character.
small.
it's so funny because that's a pretty good Natasha Lyonne. But like, if you were doing that and you're like, guess who I am? No
Yeah.
one in the world could ever guess
No,
what
no,
you're
no, no,
doing.
no.
That's hilarious.
Columbo?
Girl Columbo?
What was the episode you didn't like?
Columbo.
I know there was a penis.
I
in
don't.
it.
I don't remember.
Was it a penis?
No.
There was a penis in the show.
What's happening?
I looked it up. I looked up if there was any penises in the show.
Yeah,
Are
as,
you like
as,
one of
as
those
you do
people
before
like,
any
instead
show.
of Googling like, does the dog die, right? .com or whatever. There's a website that
Yeah.
is like, it'll tell you like, hey,
Oh.
if the dog dies in this movie.
Yeah.
But yours is like, is there a penis in it? That's what you're like, oh, I want it. I mean, the new that new show that's coming out, I want to see it.
I'll tell you the
But
truth.
does it have a penis in it?
I watched a
Succession.
movie. I watched a movie with my parents
Yeah.
that I hadn't watched in a long time, and it seems like a pretty benign movie called Being John Malkovich.
Sure.
Great movie, and John Malkovich rules. Spike Jonze, Cameron Diaz is great. Everyone's great.
John
in it.
Cusack.
Great, but there's a really intense first-person sex scene in it, and I didn't remember that, so I'm just watching that with my parents.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
was like, holy hell, this is
Yeah.
a lot. So the next time we were going over, it was me and Brad. I was like, well, there's a couple things we could watch. And it was The Menu.
Yep.
And something else, and that new show, Poker Face, and I was like, let's see the. I went to the Adults Guide on IMDb
okay, yeah.
for my adult.
Yeah.
you know. And I was like, this has a penis in it. Let's leave it. When they're older, maybe.
Okay. Yeah,
when
yeah,
they're
yeah.
90.
Yeah. Huh?
Actually, that makes sense.
Yeah.
They're
completely, they're gone. They're gone. This happened to me. Okay. Okay, Grandpa. It all happened to me, I swear. Right?
I solved a mystery.
Oh, real quick, because we're already doing the podcast.
Very much so. Yes.
So if you say the opening line, then I can ask my question, and then we'll move
Sure.
on to new business.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Funbearable. I am Brad Rohr.
I'm still Ray Harrington after all these years.
I'm Chuck Staten.
All right, we are in the show.
Yeah, this was the longest preamble that we've had for the podcast.
We thought we were just catching up, but it turned into a podcast halfway through.
Because that's what happens with friends that podcast.
Yeah.
I know.
What is
What is
life?
it?
What is content? Content is life. Life is content.
Yes.
Right?
Well, we had to stop texting last night,
That's right.
right?
Yeah, we got too horny.
We said,
I gotta stop. I'm married. I can't do this.
go back to Zelda.
And Steve's going out of the car.
No, we were talking about what we're going to talk about on the podcast. We
Yeah.
got to save it. We got to save it. That
Yeah,
happens
it's
all
true.
the time. Yeah.
I was asleep.
Yeah, and
And still
we were
steaming.
whispering.
Still steaming.
You're an odd guy. I want to hear what
Thank
you're
you.
like. You're like, there was one episode I hated, and I'm like, what was it? And you're like, I don't remember.
I don't remember.
That's very strange.
I just know I didn't like.
I just know that it hit me a certain way. What was it? No, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Like, that is odd.
Yeah,
It was the one set at the old folks community.
What happened?
Oh yeah,
Was there a penis?
I like that episode.
It was nothing but penis. It was just old penises for
It
60
was
minutes.
weird. They were puppets.
Yeah.
Nothing but penis.
You know puppetry of the penis?
Yeah.
It's like that. You know how you can draw a face on your thumb? It was that.
It was that.
for the whole episode.
Yeah, I don't think they used the actors' real voices,
Yeah.
but I don't.
Don't draw so hard.
Fine point.
What kind of
fine
pen is that?
point. Really?
Yeah.
It's like a
Get a
tattoo
Sharpie.
gun.
Someone get a Sharpie.
Don't draw that soft either.
Oh, it's gonna look all weird now.
What happened in the old folks' home? I want to know.
Why would I give away the
Yeah.
spoilers for a
It
show
was-
that you want to
There's
watch?
a murder and a mystery about who did it and
I
why.
want to know why he was so vehemently against it.
Watch it and
Wait,
then
vehemently?
Yeah,
I also said against.
Against. You just had a stroke. Vehemently against. Your Honor, I am vehemently against all of these accusations.
guilty.
Thank you for your job.
What rubbed you the wrong way?
I just didn't think it was well written.
Oh,
Okay.
it's
That's all.
a quality
That's fair.
judge.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I see. I thought you were going to say that there was some sort of, offensive thing.
yeah.
No. Well, it's one of those shows that it's so episodic in
Right.
nature that I think you can have hit or miss episodes
Right.
in that. And I think that's part of its charm.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to defend the show. I like the fact that Ryan Johnson is having different writers do different episodes.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
interesting.
people are swinging for the fences in different categories,
Sure.
Like there was the NASCAR one that
Yep.
didn't strike me as much. I wasn't as interested.
right.
But I think it's just a natural thing. People are going to gravitate towards different things. I mean, there's one that's about a traditional like special effects claymation person,
Yep.
and it's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
It's really great. But real quick, I have new business, and then we
Yes.
have a huge surprise.
Oh my God.
Okay.
We're going to talk later on. We're going to talk about Spider-Man, Miles Morales,
Yeah.
across the Spider-Verse.
We should say up front, we're going to talk about Across the Spider-Verse, and we're really, I'd say all three of us are pretty passionate about this.
Yeah.
But we don't want to spoil it for anyone. So before we go into any spoiler territories, we're going to give a very clear warning for anyone that doesn't want it to be spoiled.
Yeah.
We'll make sure that you know.
And we're going to hold the spoiler stuff to
The
the
very
end of the episode.
so you don't miss
Yeah.
anything else. Yeah, we'll hold it right to the end.
I did think it was weird that they had a live action Captain America come back, which was
It was
shit,
cool.
Shit.
Yeah.
The Kevin Spacey cameo.
Out of place, but it worked.
Hello, Arachnos. Arachnos.
Yeah, it's me. I'm back. So that's my Kevin Spacey.
I'm back. I used to do the spider thing. I don't know what they do though. They don't
was,
really do much.
yeah.
You can't really make a spider noise.
I guess against 15-year-old Miles Morales, Kevin Spacey
Is a villain.
Is
Yeah,
very much
yeah,
a villain.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my question is this because we have a big surprise. We have a guest coming, and it's going to knock your socks off.
Right.
It'll knock your dick in the dirt. And that's a saying everybody
I
uses.
did hear that one time.
I heard it at my christening.
Are you sure you can cut this boy's penis off?
It'll knock your dick in the dirt.
Oh, I can knock his dick in the dirt.
Yeah. So, real quick, I do want to throw this out there. I've been making some goofs on the podcast
Okay.
about us having a Patreon and
Yeah.
starting a Patreon.
Right.
Yeah.
And I realized the error of my ways. I don't think we should start
Yet.
a Patreon.
Yet.
Instead, I think we should be the first podcast that starts a Matreon.
Oh, okay. Tell me about that.
It's the same, but like better because because
We believe in the feminine energy.
Femergy.
Damn the patriarchy.
Patriarchy.
Yeah,
Patriarchy.
it's a hard word to say. We could all agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I call it the taintriarchy. Somewhere in the middle.
I will say damn that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a fun goof I thought of in the car. Matreon instead of
that's
Patreon. It got exactly what I thought it would.
Yeah, I
That's
like
fun. Guys, do you want to meet a new guest?
I do want to meet the guest, and I think that we should make sure. I was thinking about this. This guest, you know
Yeah.
how we usually do the Funbearable thumbnail, and it's the three of us, and if there's a guest, there's a fourth one.
There should be,
There should be a fourth bubble for this.
I agree.
guest,
I
right?
agree. It's too true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, while our guest arrives and gets settled, I will stall a little bit.
Perfect. I'll go get them.
Yes. Good thing. Thump, 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 thump.
That was my penis. Sorry, that was my penis hitting the stairs.
Ow, 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 ow.
Just briefly, I went to Indianapolis I say over the weekend, and I saw a billboard that rubbed me the wrong way. That it bothered me as much as that poker face episode.
Was it the writing?
It was. You know what? It was the writing because it was for a personal injury lawyer, and the slogan was "Hurt by a car or no, hurt in a car? Call P-Bar." And you know, I'm like, all right.
Hold on, what's his name?
I'm like, is his name Patrick? And it wasn't anything that could have been abbreviated to like Pat Barrett or something. It was nothing that could be abbreviated to that. And I'm like,
what did it? How did it spell out P-Bar? Like,
My name is Penis Barbara.
it was P-Bar, no spaces, not a dash, just P-B-A-R.
Wow, not even like
I
P-E-B-A-R.
was so angry at
P-Bar
it.
is
But then
funny.
I kept driving, and there was like a sign that was like, "Squirrely merch has moved" next to Avon Beauty Supply, and I'm like, "What's squirrely merch?"
Oh, I'd like Squirrely
I
merch.
like squirrely merch.
P-Bar and Squirrely merch. Would you go see them?
You know,
this
that-
Friday. Come on, they're
Why-
playing at the Chuckle Smash.
I would go see P-Bar and the Squirrely Bird.
Our guest is here.
Hello. Ta-da!
Well, welcome.
It is I. It is the one and only George Lucas. The
Father of the galactic universe.
You got me.
Thank
Guilty
you.
as charged.
Thank you for coming, George.
Absolutely.
I wish.
This character is funny. Just the voice is funny.
Character.
I feel bad.
Funny.
Ray went up to let you in. Did you
It
pass
was
him?
a real ship's crossing in the night.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? He'll probably be back before you're
He
gone.
said he heard his penis on the stairs.
Oh, so you did
He's-
talk to him.
Yeah.
Just briefly.
He's often.
He told me to look at
injured.
it. I said, no, thank you.
Okay.
So I hear you guys talk about me quite a bit on the podcast.
Yeah, sometimes we'll talk about the Star Wars universe and kind of especially the names that you come up with. For
You know,
your
I do a
characters.
lot of names, and people often ask me a lot of questions about the names
Yeah.
of characters in Star Wars.
Darth Vader, Dark Father,
Absolutely, yeah.
Starkiller versus
Huh.
Skywalker.
I never thought of that.
Oh boy,
Darth Vader, Dark Father.
yeah.
That's good. I like it.
Okay,
I like
okay.
it.
All right, good.
But yeah, people ask me a lot of questions like, where do you get your ideas?
Yeah.
Why did you name them that?
Yeah, and how do
Could
you
we
how do you-
change it?
How do you keep all these names like straight? Because there's so many characters.
Well, I've got my book.
that
I've got my little notebook.
Oh, is this your actual notebook?
This is it. This is the famous notebook
everyone knows about.
that I come out with all my names, because whenever I'm hanging out on my ranch, I
Yep.
just kind of stroll around, and when a muse strikes, when I'm struck with an idea
yeah,
for
because
a name,
you never know when it's going to happen.
yeah, maybe a beetle lands on my leg, and I go, ooh, what kind of names would a beetle on a leg have?
So no cell phone. You don't just type in your cell phone.
No cell phone. No, not on the ranch.
No.
Just me and my time. Who's calling me? I'm not making movies anymore. Just little films for myself.
Yeah.
Really?
That's
Yeah,
good.
that's what I've said multiple times. It's recorded.
It's really admirable.
That's true. It's canon.
What are they? In what?
You can look it up. Google it. I have said I have no interest in making commercial films anymore. I just like being on my ranch, making little movies for myself.
Wow.
That's what George Lucas, have said in the press.
What are they about?
I don't want to get into it. They're just for me.
Oh, okay.
Don't look.
It's a real
Don't look.
real Emily Dickinson situation here.
Oh,
That like if
have you seen the movie 8 Millimeter?
Yeah.
I got a lot of property. I got a lot of land on the ranch. So this is my notebook. In case you can't tell, I've written names.
Oh, just hold
on
it up to the camera.
Just
there.
hold this up here. Names. Sorry, a tractor ran over my notebook earlier
Yeah.
on the ranch. That happens. But this is written in Auerbash.
Wow.
I don't
Auerbash.
I don't know what Auerbash is.
That's the language famous in Star Wars. We call English basic. That's what English is in Star Wars.
Wow.
It's just you
I had
speak
no
basic.
idea. I had no idea. I'm learning so much from you, Mr.
So
Lucas.
that's just in Auerbash.
Okay.
I've
Are
got-
all
I've-
your notes in Auerbash, or are you writing some
For
of them in
safety's
basic?
sake, yes. Okay. Just so no one steals my amazing ideas.
Good thinking.
And you guys have made fun of my my names. You've done some goofs.
really,
Just
Ray
in-
made a lot of those jokes.
Oh.
We support
in
you.
good fun.
Yeah.
Good fun?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it hurt my feelings a little bit. I was listening to your podcast. Big fan, by the way.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I'm a fun bear
Oh, wow.
from the planet Bear Fun.
Write it down.
That's in my other book for planets.
Planet
I got
names.
one for names of human peoples and other animals and aliens. I've got one
Yeah.
for planets. I've got one for ships.
Okay, yeah.
I've got one for pistols and lightsabers.
You carry them all around all the time?
No, they're on the ranch,
Okay.
Okay.
but I carry those on the ranch all the time.
Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
I have a little leather satchel. Oh, wow. Yeah. And then on top of it, you're not going to believe it, a whip. And I wear a crossbody satchel that I wear.
Yep.
Are you good with the whip?
No. I'm learning. I would say decent for a beginner.
When
good.
did you start learning?
I was on the set of a film of a buddy of mine. And I saw the whip getting cracked around, and I was like, that looks like fun. And we had a weevil problem on the ranch.
Yep.
And I don't want to shoot guns off in the ranch.
Right.
And so I was like, a whip would give me the distance.
Yeah, guns are inelegant.
Exactly. It's an inelegant weapon.
Yep.
So now I have a whip. Very elegant. Very a leather rope that I snap at things.
Yep.
It's very elegant.
Wow.
So I figured, I would come in today, visit you guys, see you in person.
Yeah.
I don't get out much these days. Just kind of making my little films for myself.
Yep.
And you guys have a lot of questions about the names
Yes.
that I come up with and how I come up with them. Because I've come up with such bangers as Jack Porkins.
Right.
I remember that. Yeah, he was he was in the first one.
Overweight pilot.
Yeah, Porkins.
Yeah, I get it.
Kit Fisto,
Wow.
to use a Jedi. Salacious Crumb.
Oh yeah, the little guy with the ears,
That's my-
Jabba's friend. Yeah.
That's my personal favorite name, Salacious Crumb.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fun but scary.
Yeah.
Max Rebo.
Yeah.
That was a name I came up with. I don't even remember what the character was at this point.
I think it's the blue elephant guy.
Nope. Cy Snood.
Thank you very much. You're a true blue fan. I appreciate that.
I'm a fan of only the blue characters.
Oh, you're a
I'm a
bluist.
true blue fan. Yeah.
Oh, you'd love another friend of mine's films.
Yes.
Avatar.
The Airbender?
My pal Jimmy makes them. Yeah.
I'll have to look it up. I'll
Yeah,
look it
if you love it, you're gonna love the next one. It comes out in 2031, and it's terrible. So, don't tell him I said that. Don't tell Jim I said that.
I don't know if Jim's a fun bear. If he is, he might see this.
Oh, he's not. We talk about it.
Okay.
He's a Legion of Skanks fellow.
Oh,
He loves it. He loves Legion of Skanks.
they do good work over
Guys,
there.
we fucked. He loves those.
Yeah.
He loves the New York gritty scene.
yeah.
So recently on the set of Mandalorian, and this is very true, I came to visit the set of Mandalorian on season 3. Maybe that's why it was bad. But I was there and I was watching a scene, happen, and I came up to one of the actors playing a Mandalorian, not the Mandalorian, but a Mandalorian.
Right.
And I came up to him and I kind of sidled up next to him and I said, "Hey, by the way, your name is Axe Woves,"
Wow.
just to let him know.
Yeah.
Just to let him know.
Where did that name come from?
Came from the book.
Oh, okay.
Came from the book.
Yep.
So you boys like to make fun of me and come up with your own fun names. So
Again, they're more of a Ray thing than us.
well, you're here, so guilty by association. You know, could be the name of the podcast. So we're gonna play a little game here.
Okay.
You're gonna come up with an answer to this game.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not a game show host. I'm a writer director.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm not really in front of the camera kind
And a
of guy.
farmhand.
I'm more of a behind the camera, and then behind that guy sitting in a chair.
Yeah.
Going, yeah, it looks great. Like that's what I like to do.
Yeah.
A lot of that. A lot of. Can you less emotion, please? I kind of go with something like that. No, play it out longer. Talk slower. And I like to do that a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you some names here.
Yeah.
Some that already exist in the Star Wars universe.
Okay.
That I've already come up with, and then some other ones that are fake, that don't exist in the Star Wars universe yet.
Okay.
If you zoom in on me, I don't want to direct your own film, but if you zoom in on me when I go yet and make it shake,
Right.
the shaking will help.
Yeah.
It's exaggerated, you know?
Right.
And I can put some dark makeup under my eyes so it looks like, oh, he's probably going to be bad.
Yeah.
At the end, he'll be bad.
Yeah.
So here we go. We'll start here. Fax Dumbo.
That doesn't sound like a name.
Fax Dumbo.
F-A-X.
F-A-X Dumbo.
That
Fax Dumbo.
To me, I think no. I think that name does not yet exist
It does not yet
in the
exist?
Star Wars extended universe.
Yes, I think it does exist.
You think it does exist? Well, I mean, it is it's close to Max Rebo.
Right.
Right.
Fax Dumbo, it does not exist yet.
Oh, okay.
Not yet.
Coming soon?
But there's rumors to be a 7-season animated show on Disney that's really bad.
Yeah.
But Fax Dumbo, super important senator, integral to the plot of New Hope. Huh. Wow.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see him.
Yeah.
Elon Sleazebagano.
Now, there's something about this that rings true.
Elon
To my-
Sleazebagano.
Elon Sleazebagano.
Hold on, I got to get my classic George Lucas Sharpie here.
Yep.
I'm going to keep track of the scores here. So you've got no points and
Yes.
you've got 1 point. All
I
right, that's
don't
good.
think Elon Sleazebagano is in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I agree with Brad this time.
Okay, so you both say he's fake. He's real. He's a real character in the films. He was in the prequels, Attack of the Clones. He was a drug dealer in the scummy bar.
Oh, right.
And
true?
that is true. Why would I lie to you?
I'm just making
You
sure.
can, but you can do a Google on it if you want,
I believe
or
you.
a Bing. You can Bing it.
What would a search engine? What would a search engine in the Star Wars universe?
Scarfurious Bing. Write that down. He did a genocide.
Oh no!
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
Yeah, it sounds that way.
So so far 1-0.
Okay,
Darth Delicious.
that is
I gotta say no.
a roller derby name. So I'm going to say no.
That's a good joke.
Thank
Roller
you.
derby. That's
Thank
fun. We're thinking about including roller derby in Mandalorian season 5.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
The little Grogu on the track.
Oh, it's going to be fun. Little skates on them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
adorable.
So good. Everybody wants it.
Yeah.
Everybody wants an episode of that. They want Mandalorian learning to skate. You know, everybody wants it.
Right, and you know, high stakes skating. No less.
Exactly. He's got those stakes.
Yes.
So Darth Delicious fake. Both you say he's fake.
Fake.
He's in fact fake. He's not in the series yet. I have just down in my notes. I write down in the notes the name and then also what the character would be.
Right, yeah,
of
Or what the character was, were it pre-existing.
Yeah.
And I just wrote scary.
Yeah.
Darth Delicious, scary.
I can see where that would
Sounds
come
like sultry though. No.
So you both get a point there. All right, great. Okay. Yep. Yep. Next name here. Savage Opress. Savage Opress.
I think
That's an intense name.
yeah, it
I'll
is.
go yes. I'll go yes.
What's a yes? I don't know.
think
These
it is
aren't
a
yes
real-
or no
it's a real
questions.
name.
These are real. Okay.
that's
Savage Opress.
Yes, I think so.
I'm gonna say no, but only because I want to differ from Chuck. If I had gone
And a no
first,
means-
I would have said yes. I not yet in the Star Wars universe is
Got it.
Savage Opress.
Well, good news. You're tied now because
rats.
Savage Opress is real.
yeah.
In my notes here, a real baddie. He's Darth Maul's brother.
Oh, I should have
true.
known. I should have known.
Different last names, though.
Yeah.
So must have been adopted or
Yeah,
something.
is
Half-brother.
So is there any sort of continuity with like last names, first names, like Darth Maul, or is Darth
It's kind of like a taken name. You become it. You know,
Ah, okay.
because Darth Vader isn't called Darth Skywalker because he's Anakin Skywalker. But
Right.
when he becomes a Sith Lord, he
Right.
takes on the moniker
Okay.
of the Darth Vader.
Okay, I see.
It's all in the books. You got to read the books.
Okay.
A lot of books.
There are a lot of books.
Lot
Yeah.
of books.
And I make a little bit of money off of each one.
Oh, well, that's
Pretty
gotta be
great.
nice.
Next name, Dud Bolt.
Dud.
Dud, D-U-D, Dud Bolt.
And is-
Deadbolt?
Close, but it's Dud.
Would this be a human character, or is there a droid
I'm not
named
saying.
Dud Bolt?
It's a mystery.
You know what? I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say it's a droid name.
Okay.
Come on, Chuck. What do you got?
No, it's not an real name.
Oh, that's a real shame. It is a real name, Dud Bolt.
Dud
he
Bolt.
Was, he was a pod racer
Oh yeah.
in the first film. So we're gonna give it to Brad.
Now this is pod
Although I
racing.
don't want to give you the point though because you said it was a droid.
Yeah,
name.
but I did say it was a real name,
right,
which
well,
is the thing. I didn't
The
have to
more
say who
the
character
more
was.
specific you get, the closer to wrong you become.
I'll remember that.
That's a good. I got to write that.
Yes.
It's a good saying. I think a Jedi Master would say to his young Padawan.
He probably would. Yeah. Speaking generalities. Because,
Padawan took me 14 months to come up with. Just the name Padawan.
Yeah.
It was tough. For a long time, it was going to be Wanapad,
Right.
but then everybody made jokes about it. Pump Rangoon. Pump Rangoon. Real or fake?
It
Pump
sounds delicious,
Rangoon.
but I don't think it's real.
You say fake?
I also say fake on Pump Rangoon.
All right. Well, you're both correct.
Ah.
Pump Rangoon, he's a vaguely ethnic stereotype from the racist star system.
I think I know some other characters
Out
from that
there?
star system.
What? What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh, you're talking about the Trade Federation?
Yes. Very
Everybody
much
talks
so.
about the Trade Federation. I had one fight with a vaguely Asian person one time. And now everybody thinks that that's what it's about. Next name, Enthar Bater. Enthar Bater.
I'm going to say that's real. I'm going to say that character exists in the Star Wars universe. Enthar Bader.
I think it's real too. I think it's real.
Okay, well, that's a shame because not yet.
Ah, it's a not yet.
So far, fake.
Yep.
Okay.
Couple weeks.
Any
maybe
ideas
real.
of who that might be?
Absolutely. He's an ancient Jedi master revered the galaxy over as the great Master Bater.
I knew it.
I did see something like that coming.
Yeah, me too.
It's a twist.
I should have. I should have
It
seen.
subverts expectation.
Should have seen that masturbator coming.
That's what, well, never mind. C.O. Bibble. C.O. Bibble.
How do you spell CO?
S-I-O. C.O. Bibble. Now, for your viewer and listener audience, you know, if you're thinking real hard about this, if you're driving or something like that, feel free to pull over.
Yeah,
Give it a real thing.
We care
Yeah.
about safety.
Stew on this one.
CO Bibble. I'm going to say that
That's
character.
originally what Han Solo was going to say when he was dropped into the carbon.
Yeah.
When Leia says "I love you," he improvised the line.
Yeah.
I know. In
And
the
it-
script originally,
Stew
it
on
said
this.
stew on this one. That's a fun Star Wars tidbit for your. Here's a scoop for the Funbearable listener.
Oh, this is good. We can repost this clip in all the Star Wars
Absolutely.
subreddits.
They're going to lose their minds. Are you kidding me?
C.O.
C.O.
Bibble. I'm
I'm
gonna
sure
say-
they'll love it and there'll be no negativity.
As long as all the characters are straight white male characters, I think we're
Let me
okay.
check here. Yep. Okay, great. CO Bibble.
CO Bibble, yes, real. Exists in the Star Wars universe.
All right.
I'm going to say no, just to be different from Brad.
All right.
Not yet.
You know, sometimes when you want to be different from Brad, it helps, and sometimes it hurts. And in this case, it's a hurt because CO Bibble is real. He's a Trade Federation jerk. Bibble means business. That's what I wrote in my notebook. Bibble means business. Give Brad the 5th point there. It's 5-3.
I'll say being different from Brad works in real life all the time.
Just not in trivia.
Just not in trivia.
Well, I wouldn't say this is trivial.
Of course not.
I would say it's film history.
Yeah, right.
You know. Next one. Gafurky Lenswin. Gafurky Lenswin.
The name Lenswin is from the Middle Earth universe. That's a Tolkien name.
Oh.
That's not a Lucas name.
Don't get me started. Every time I see a Tolkien name, I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
He did it. He scooped me.
Yeah, he did create his own language.
He got there.
I'm gonna say no.
Oh, he created his own
Gafurky
language? Oh,
Lenswin.
wow. What a genius.
Yeah.
Yep.
Huh.
I also say no.
Well, you're both wrong. Gafurky
okay.
Lenswin is a real character. It was a sales being in the Coronet Spaceport.
Sales being.
A sales being? Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I don't know if it's a salesman or saleswoman.
Yeah, that's
Right.
true. Maybe this is from a race that doesn't care about gender. However,
Produce asexual.
No. I think they do. It's just unidentifiable. I didn't know. I couldn't tell.
Got it.
Yeah.
When they made it, I was like, what is it?
yeah.
And they were like, it's one of the aliens. And I went, okay, what does it have? What does it have? What does it go out of?
Does it have the
is
thing
what
I
said.
like or the thing I don't like?
That's like the number one question I have whenever I would go down to the prop department
Yep.
and then later down to the computers when they made them in CG. And I would just say, where does it go out of?
Yeah.
Where is it? Because sometimes that would help me with the name.
Right.
Not with Gafurky Lenswin, though.
Yeah.
It's a tricky
tell.
one. That's a tricky one. Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Yep.
Next one, Adolf Hitler.
Could it be no? Could it be not real?
Adolf Hitler.
I'm going to say yes.
All right. Well, Brad, you don't get a point on that one.
Rats.
It is a fake name so far, but
Yeah.
we don't know what's going to happen in the next trilogy. Adolf Hitler. I wrote in my notebook. You've heard of Adolf Hitler. Now meet the despicable Adolf Hitler and his brother Beadolf Hitler.
Okay. You know what? I guess I got mixed up with the Hitler thing, and I was thinking real person. Yeah, that's on me.
Let's just say, thank God he's not real.
Yeah.
Baron Papanoida.
Baron Papanoida sounds like a character that does exist in the Star Wars universe.
All right.
Baron. Have I ever heard Baron in the Star Wars universe before? Is that in there?
Do they eat Red Baron pizza?
I say no, not real.
Oh, that's a shame because Baron Papanoida is real from the Clone Wars and voiced by yours truly.
Really?
Yep.
How does he
There's
sound?
another little
Can
scoop.
you give us a little Baron?
Hi, I'm Baron Papanoida.
Pretty good.
That sounds.
I have a really creative name.
I-
That's his famous catchphrase. I have a really creative name. And so you said no, and you said yes. So Brad gets another point. Okay. Yeah. All right. Great. We're moving on. Mm-hmm. Yep. This next one. This one's tricky.
Yep.
Labia majora.
That doesn't sound like a set of words I've ever heard together.
Or seen together.
In any circumstance.
I am familiar. But no, I don't think it exists in Star Wars.
I don't think it exists as a character name in Star Wars.
Okay. All right. Well, I like your specificity there.
you.
Because it does exist in Star Wars, just not as a name.
right.
And it's important to remember that whenever you see a female character in Star Wars, go, they've got a labia majora. Lean over to somebody in the theater.
Right.
Hey, they've got a labia majora.
I say
It's
that
just the body. It's just the body.
I say that regardless of what movie we're seeing, whether it's Star Wars or otherwise.
Yeah, why not? Just point it out, you
Yep.
know? So you both get a point. All right, great. But if Labia Majora makes it to the big screen, I will say it's a duplicitous smuggler turned warlord after the death of her sister, Labia Minora.
Okay.
right.
So yeah, the last names, they shift around.
Different cultures.
Yeah.
How do we know?
Different strokes for different folks.
That's correct.
Right.
Next one, Draft Neko.
Sounds real to me.
I'm sorry. What was the first name?
Draff, Draff, Draff.
Oh,
Neko.
yeah. That sounds like a character that exists in the Star Wars universe.
So both say real,
Draff
and
Neko.
both of them are wrong. Draff Neko.
Rats.
He's. I just have down one of those really long neck guys. Draff Neko.
Yep.
And last one for the game here, and then I've got some fun tidbits, some scoops to give you.
Oh, thanks.
You know, because that way you guys can really get the most out of having George Lucas on your podcast.
Yeah.
Last one here, Mama the Hutt.
I gotta go real.
You've heard of Jabba the
Because
Hutt?
Jabba has to have a mom.
Jabba's got to have a mama.
I think about Spaceballs and Pizza the Hut.
I hate it. I hate that movie.
I'm going to say Mama the Hut. I'm going to say not currently extant in the Star Wars universe.
Well, you're wrong, Brad,
Oh,
because
rats.
Mama the Hutt is actually Jabba's grandmother in the Star Wars universe.
I didn't think about grandparents.
It's canon.
Oh,
That's what I like to say when I ring a doorbell. Ding dong, it's canon. So the final score on that, Chuck with 6 points.
Congratulations.
He did a really good job.
Good job, yeah.
Great job.
Yep.
Good effort. Brad, 7 points. He won by 1 point. It was close. It was a
Yeah.
neck and neck one. It was like a pod race. Wow.
Yeah, so close.
So close. Everybody was on the edge of their seats this whole time.
They're like, what's Sebulba going to do here?
Everybody knows that when you have George Lucas on your podcast, the energy level is through the fucking roof.
Oh, yeah.
So to give you guys a little scoop, a
Yeah.
little
Love a
exclusive,
scoop. Oh, yeah.
really pop off on the forums. You know, do they still do the forums?
Yes.
I kind of checked out of the internet around I'd say probably like 2002.
Oh, any reason?
You know, just kind of got sick of death threats. Really, it was just about it. You know, a lot of people not happy with me after the prequels. But
There's a lot more stuff than was back then.
Yeah, it's true. The internet has really expanded.
In what way?
Well, there's a lot of video content now. Like people can make and upload their own videos.
Really?
There's
Yeah,
a lot of
they're-
different.
Your own like little movies that you
Yeah,
make?
there are your own little
just for
movie.
yourself.
Just for yourself.
You can
Like
make
if
it
you
just for
live on a
yourself,
ranch.
or you could share it like anonymously with the world.
Huh.
anonymously, which means no one
Yeah.
can blame you for quality or
Yeah, you
lack
can
of
just tell your
quality.
little stories however you want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really
You could
democratized filmmaking.
If you knew anybody that was like good at coming up with names, you could just give yourself a fake name and publish movies like that. under that name.
Wow. Interesting stuff that you guys are hitting me with here.
Yeah.
Something to think about, really. You know, I think my problem with that, though, is I would probably put out one video
Right.
and then, like, a long time later, put out the same video, but with, like, some shit in the front of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I mean-
do another video, but, like, now there's, like, a thing in front of that thing.
I'll say
You know?
this: there are these things called reaction videos, and it's a person watching a video and they just react to it. And sometimes that video gets more attention than the original video.
Oh, wow. Sounds like a hellscape.
Yes. Oh,
It
Wow.
is.
All right.
It really is.
it's terrible.
Well, it's good that we've taken a darker turn in our
yeah,
conversation because it's about to take an even darker turn.
Oh no.
Okay.
Now, for any viewers or listeners out there that may have children that are in the room or car or wherever you are,
First of all,
or the boat.
Why would you be listening
Maybe
to
on the boat.
Funbearable with children around?
I have my kids listen to it. They're adults now, but
Yeah.
you know they like it.
Okay.
Right.
Well, 2 of them do. But if you've got sensitive ears or younger listeners, maybe it's time to go. Maybe go take a look outside, see what's going on out
Maybe
there.
I should just go join Ray because of my sensitive ears.
Well, we need you here because you won the name contest,
Right, that's
so
true.
your input counts here. This is a big exclusive. It's George Lucas's list of new Sith names that I've been coming up with.
Oh.
So this is just a page from my name notebook.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just coming up with names. Like I said, whenever I have an idea,
Right.
on the ranch, I just jot it down.
Yep.
You know? So here's a couple. Just throwing them out there. We'll see what works.
Right.
Maybe I'll use this in a later script if you're lucky. You know, you get some credit there. Darth Nephew. You'll never guess who his uncle is. Is that a good or bad? Indifferent.
It's
You know,
good.
I'm
I think
kind of
it's
bouncing
good.
these ideas off you.
You know what?
fellas.
We got Darth Maul's brother, so it's Darth Maul's brother's
Runs in
son.
the family, yeah.
I'm gonna say he's Darth Maul's.
All right, that stays.
nephew.
Check.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, a lot of my Sith names, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if you've noticed this, but a lot of them end with us.
Yeah.
Right, a lot of them do.
Sidious.
Yeah.
Plagueis.
Sidious. Insanius, which they didn't accept for the video game.
Tyrannus.
Tyrannus. That's a really good one.
I thought there was a Darth Tyrannus.
Cross that out. That's stupid. Okay. Here we go. So you might notice a little bit of rhyme scheme here. It's like a poem. It's like it rhymes. You know?
Right.
It's like it rhymes. If you've seen any behind the scenes of the prequels, you laughed when I said that. You guys have not.
Nope.
Darth Pancreas.
Sounds scary.
Yeah.
And then just what I write down for, just notes on where to go with this. It says, not sure what he does, but I know it's important. So that stays. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Darth Nefarious. I wouldn't trust him.
I wouldn't either. Yeah.
So that's a keeper.
Yeah. That's very much a keeper.
Darth Arduous. And I had a lot of trouble coming up with this one. Took me 7 months. No? Yes?
I know.
All right. Cross that one out. We don't like it. All right. Darth Incredulous. You won't believe what this guy doesn't believe.
Thumbs up. Thumbs up to Darth Incredulous.
All right, great. Yeah. Darth Scandalous. This guy gets up to a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Is that one?
I like him.
Yeah,
All right,
figures the Chuck would. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's check.
The thumb is more up than down for me on that one.
All right. This is good. Darth Mysterious. What's this guy's deal?
Oh, I'd have to find out what his deal is before I know.
Okay,
I'm
so that's a
for
maybe.
it. That's what's part of the story.
All right, we'll do a little check, but also cross it out, just in case.
Yes.
Darth Igneous. Darth Igneous.
Where's he from?
Well, he came out of lava, or can go in lava.
Right. Wow.
Or he's made of lava.
Okay. So a lot
that.
of filming options there. A lot of story options.
A lot of green screen options there. Yeah.
Yeah.
One big room.
I'm gonna give Darth Igneous like a 7 out of 10. So
7 out of 10.
more
We're changing up the scoring system and it's throwing me all out of whack here.
More yes than no.
I've got checks and crosses, and now I've got a 7 point whatever.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
7.0.
7.0. All right. Darth Bi-Curious. I'm not sure yet, but I just need some time to come up with a gimmick.
I'm interested. I say yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll say yes.
A little bit of waffling on that.
Well, it's the month of June, and I want to make sure I'm sensitive.
All right. Fair enough. Darth Gorgeous. Ooh, he's a looker.
I've noticed that all of these Sith characters are he's.
Oh, yeah. All the Sith are men. Have you ever seen a female Sith?
I mean, I guess not.
No, it's simply because, and I know a lot of people talk about these kinds of things now, and I think that's good to have a conversation. I wrote an incredibly powerful female character in Princess Leia, and so I believe in female power, but it's just that it happens in the galaxy, which is all I can do. All I can do is record what is existing in this galaxy.
Of course, yeah.
And it just happens that when you need something done, you have to have a man in charge. That's all.
I see. Yeah.
So the Emperor is not a woman.
Okay,
It's a man.
that would be an Empress, yeah.
Right. And then all the Darths are men.
Yeah, Supreme Leader, Snoke,
Right.
male. General Grievous,
Right.
male. Yep.
See, they flirted with the idea with Rey,
Yep.
and in the end, they were like, nope, can't do that.
Yeah, it's true.
And there's a deleted scene where the Emperor even says, I can't believe I'm doing this. You're a woman.
Wow.
But I'll be inside your body, so I'll be embodying you.
Yeah.
So in a lot of ways, you're not.
Yeah.
The Emperor is a turf.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, he hates
Really?
trans issues. He's very against it.
That stinks.
Well, he's evil incarnate.
I was going to say.
he's
a
evil
villain, though.
incarnate.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll kill people for money.
What do you think?
power.
Do you think the Emperor Palpatine is using people's pronouns correctly?
Yeah.
Absolutely
I
not.
suspect not.
He's evil incarnate.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be respectful.
I mean, I just wish he'd come around. That we could find a peaceful resolution. That we could talk this out.
Oh, you're really both siding the Emperor Palpatine,
I'm just saying,
leader of the Empire.
you got to believe that people are capable of change.
All right.
That's the message of
Don't
movies.
give this guy a time machine and have him kill Hitler. He won't do it.
That's the
He'll
message of
try and
movies.
talk him down.
4, 5, and 6 is that people can change.
No, I don't like to talk about those.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a
It's like-
prequels guy. All right, we don't like Darth Gorgeous. Okay. Darth Brooks. This guy can sing.
Thumbs up.
I love him.
Thumbs
We
way
haven't
up.
had a lot of fun with
right. I was
a Darth.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not a
true.
lot of entertainment.
Darth Phallus. Think Vader, but with a bigger helmet. Oh, there are so many signals coming from your
I
hands.
want to play him.
Oh. Well, we'll talk about it. We'll look. We'll check. We'll see.
Okay.
I mean, I also
Do
want
you
to.
need my number? My phone number?
I
I got it.
I just don't think I'd be good at it.
You have not a lot of screen presence for Darth Phallus. All right. Oh, this is coming up. Maybe one of you guys could play it. Darth Hideous. Ew. Ew.
A role I was born for.
All right. Well, we like it.
I like it.
I'll tell you, when I was on the ranch and I came up with that, I scared myself. I did.
Pretty frightening name.
I was thinking and I was thinking and I was thinking, and then I put pen to paper and I wrote Darth Hideous. And I put the pen down and then I read it and I went, oh, and I shuddered. Shuddered at the thought.
Yeah, it's-
And I
What was
like,
the sound?
I went, oh, what am I, Stephen King? Right? That's what I said. I said that to myself.
Right.
At the ranch alone. What am I, Stephen King? Sometimes I scare myself. Somebody stop me.
That's the best.
And, oh, whoops. I tried to get The Mask to do a little cameo in the prequels.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey?
Yeah, because I don't know if you knew this, but in my universe,
Yep.
George Lucas's Star Wars,
Okay.
the Mask is from another planet. That's one of the alien races.
Wow.
Is a mask.
okay.
And so, but Jim Carrey said no. He said no. What are you going to do?
What can you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said no. He said no.
I heard he's difficult.
He's very difficult. Yep. Just two more.
Okay.
And then I've got one more joke. Darth Too Fast, Too Furious.
Oh, okay.
That
man.
sounds great.
All right, and I just wrote, they took Han Solo, I'm taking this.
That makes sense.
All right, that's a big
That's
check.
great.
Darth Too Fast, Too Furious. And it is numbers.
Yeah.
Right.
It is numbers.
Just numbers, yeah.
And it does rhyme.
Oh yeah, I guess it does.
Darth, Insidious.
Right.
Furious.
Right, right.
Too Fast, Too Furious. And then I'm ashamed. Not all of them are winners. Okay? Every once in a while, I have a dud.
Yeah, I get it.
I have a real dud bolt.
Yes, stud bolts.
So this one, and I'll share my misses as many as my swings.
That's good. That's important that people can see this.
Exactly. See the struggle of a incredible man. It's mine.
Right.
It's not all perfect. Darth Dracula. And then I wrote, "Come on, George, do better."
Yeah.
I was on Ambien when I wrote that.
Ambien will mess you up.
Oh, it will.
Yeah.
It'll mess you up. I did Red Tails fully on Ambien.
That explains.
I was like, I'm the director for this.
Yeah.
For sure. This story about these black pilots during the war,
that's
George Lucas's movie all over.
Oh
it.
yeah.
I'm the only man that could tell this story.
Correct.
But I was on Ambien the whole time.
Yeah.
And then I kind of snapped out of it and I went, whoop. Oops.
Yep. that
My
happens.
bad.
Yep.
I got my face.
What? It's like listening to a mirror. And finally, this is just a quick list. Just a quick list because I get frustrated sometimes. I'm a names guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 95% of the reason I even did Star Wars. I was like, I want to just come up with names.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's just a reason to do it.
Yeah.
So this is just a list of names that already exist in the world that I'm mad that I didn't think of.
Got it.
Because they would have been perfect aliens. They could have been smugglers. They could have been pilots.
All right. I'm thinking of one, and I'm interested to see if mine is on your list.
What's the one you're thinking of?
Usain Bolt. To me, that is a Star Wars name.
Usain Bolt.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Thank you. It's a real name. He's a sprinter.
And then in brackets, like it's a nickname in the middle, Dud. Usain Dud Bolt.
Yes.
I love it.
Good.
He's a racer.
Yep. Makes sense.
Pod racer.
Yep. Yep.
And in mine, he would be riding the gentleman.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of racist characters
Yes.
Yeah,
in Star Wars worlds. These names already exist, and I'm ticked that I don't have them as aliens in my awesome movie universe. Zazie Beetz
Yeah. That's a good name. Good actress.
would have been a fun one.
Yeah.
A real clunky mechanic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real klutzy too.
Yeah.
Oh, Zazie Beetz is over there. Don't let her touch the hyperdrive.
Yeah.
We'll all die. Rainn Wilson.
Yep.
Ah, yeah.
When I watch The Office, I get so upset. It's supposed to calm you down. No, I get mad.
Yeah.
Because I see Rainn Wilson, the name, and I'm like, damn,
Why didn't?
what a hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rainn Wilson.
I thought it was a bad guy. Rain. Wilson Rain.
Wilson Rain. Oh, no, that's an 80s villain for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In like an action
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
Right? You need to talk to my pal Jim about that. Elon Musk. So close.
Yep.
So close. Kills me. It really does.
I feel like he'll kill all of us.
And also, I think it matches because he feels like he's a green screen creation.
Yeah.
A real Jar Jar situation.
Yes.
Notice I didn't have any names like that in my notebook.
Right.
Yeah.
I had to rip those pages out.
People got
If
so
they
mad.
ever found them, I'd get canceled immediately. I took one trip to Africa. And suddenly I'm the worst guy in the world. Ricky Ricardo. He's a pilot. For sure, Ricky. Blue 5, Ricky Ricardo. Gillette Razor.
All right, well, that's not a person's.
It's a product.
Yeah.
But it's still a noun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is a noun.
Person, place, or thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gillette Razor.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a good one.
He's a smuggler that can beat Han Solo in a race. Wow. He does less parsecs.
Yeah.
And I know that's distance and
I
not
was going
time.
to say, yeah.
It's all about the skill of the pilot because the parsecs, you have to go around an asteroid field. And so to do the race in less distance means you actually fly through the asteroid belt.
Oh, okay.
And that's why it's impressive that he did it in less time because the shorter the trip, the more dangerous the ride.
Okay, that makes
And so
sense.
it's like, wow, he did it really dangerously,
That makes sense. And
which is a brag.
Yeah, an explanation I had seen was that he was testing to see if, these potential customers knew anything about, interspace travel.
Oh,
And
that's
so
interesting. It's wrong, but it is
intentionally-
interesting.
Yeah, he intentionally botched it. But your explanation, the canonical explanation, makes more sense.
I think so. I think so. And who am I?
Yeah.
I'm just a guy. that came up with the whole fucking thing, Let's see. Back to names that I wish I had thought of. Lorna Doone cookies. Take the cookies off, and it's a perfect name, Lorna Doone.
That's true. That's a great Star Wars name.
Absolutely. She's a princess on another planet.
Yep.
You got to go talk to her, and she secretly helps the resistance.
Oh, good.
She's helping out the rebels.
Yep.
We got to go talk to Lorna Doone. I bet she has something we need. Right?
Energy.
Not her body.
Labia Majora.
No.
Oh.
Not yet. In my timeline, Labia Minora is still alive.
Oh, okay.
Majora hasn't made the dark turn.
Right.
From smuggler to warlord.
Right.
Urkel. Just very upset that I didn't come up with Urkel.
Yeah.
Just even as a character,
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
Put him in a cantina.
Oh, yeah.
Watch him fuck it all up.
Yeah,
I love
that's
it.
great.
He would.
A real klutz.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, Jar Jar was based on Urkel.
Yeah, right.
Cal Ripken.
Yeah.
What a hero.
Yeah.
Switch out the bat for a Jedi's lightsaber, a laser sword, and you've got it all set.
And he's dependable. He's always there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not available for filming.
Ugh.
Bart Simpson.
Sounds like a real wild card.
Real troublemaker. Real troublemaker. You're not sure about him, but right at the end, he comes in and saves the day.
Yeah.
Right.
Good one, Bart.
Yeah.
Thanks, Captain Simpson. Barack Obama.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
that's a great
It's just
Star Wars
great.
movie.
Yeah.
It's great. Comes with power.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell you what I think he looks like.
Right. Get in trouble.
Like, what is he from a planet where where basic is spoken, or is he from a different planet?
I think he's from a different planet. And I think importantly, he's from one planet, but tells everybody he's from another planet.
Okay.
And secretly, he was
no.
born on the other planet.
Oh boy. All right. I guess it's character, it's fiction.
It's all fictional.
It's all fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have Barack Obama, or really any ethnic name would be fine.
No.
I just wrote any ethnic name.
George,
I was on Ambien.
They are funny.
They are. They're hilarious. They're silly, and they talk funny too.
Stop it. You're not a character.
Let's see, just a few more to get through here. Ted Lasso.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Basically, any last name that could be a verb, I'm like, I wish I had that.
Yeah, I get it.
Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Han Solo's pal.
Yeah.
Ted Lasso.
Right.
Bert and Ernie.
Those are two.
Couple of droids knocking around.
Yeah. Okay.
Knocking around.
Clunking around. Heck yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. They're out and they're proud.
Yeah.
Gay droids.
Yeah.
Doesn't really make sense.
Why?
Droids would have any sexual preference at all.
Listen, in my world, in my universe, who's to say what the hell a droid is or does?
That's a good point.
Some of them are sentient and like people.
Yep.
Some of them are not.
Yep. Yeah.
Some of them talk. Some of them don't. Some of them clunk around and do one specific task. Others are just basically people in metal suits.
Yep.
It's who are they sentient? Are they alive? Are droids alive? Do they have free will? I don't know.
Do people have free will?
Well,
in your universe?
yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Oh, there's no God in Star Wars.
All right. Well, then where does
There's
the
the
Force come
Force. The Force is God.
from? All right.
It's all in the books. But the droids, I don't know.
Okay.
What do you think? Are they alive?
I think it's like an AI thing, right? Like because they have to actually respond to situations.
So you
in
think it's
some
an
ways
artificial intelligence? You think it's a sentient being?
I think so.
You think C-3PO is sentient?
I think so.
I would say the same about C-3PO. But what about say like a gonk droid? Is that sentient? Are these other droids that are seemingly doing menial tasks, are they sentient creatures?
It's tough because we don't, having not read the books, we don't know a lot about the backstory of the torture droid in A New Hope.
Right. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And there's just so many levels, and sometimes they have a little chip on them.
Yep.
An inhibitor chip.
Yep.
Right.
To stop them from having their own free will.
Yep.
But it's like, well, then why do they have it?
right.
C-3PO is a slave.
Yes.
He just happens to be a freed one, essentially.
Right.
Apparently doing the work he does of his own free will.
Yeah. He's an emancipated droid.
Right. But he's still a droid, and he seems to have, self-interest in mind. He's
Right.
always terrified of the adventures they're going on.
Yeah. Brad's like C-3PO. I always tell
In
people that.
so many ways.
Very similar.
Yeah.
It isn't.
But he's alive.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
So what if Han Solo shoots an Empire's gonk droid, is
Right.
it like him killing a dog?
no.
So they're not alive.
I'd say no.
So
Not the
so
little
that
ones.
means you could shoot C-3PO in the head.
No, C-3PO is. I
So
think
he
there's
is
gonna
al-
be- There's going to be a distinction.
Where's the line?
all right, wait, what about BB-8?
Is BB-8 alive?
I think BB-8's alive.
Is it just the ones you like?
It's just the ones I like.
Yeah, there we go.
So BB-8 is alive, but what about the bad BB-8 that we see in the film that everybody on set lovingly referred to as BB-hate? That's true. That's not. Don't laugh at me. Am I a clown? But no, truly. So would the bad BB-8 droid, is that alive? Is it being bad?
I think
if
that
it-
one is, yeah.
So it just happens that it was painted all black and with a red eye to show like, hey, this guy's bad.
Yep.
But also just happens of his own free will to be like, I'm going to be a huge piece of shit. I'm siding with the Empire.
Yeah.
I don't know
Well,
what
you're influenced by who creates you.
I suppose. So
Yeah.
you're saying it's a nurture over nature situation.
Exactly.
sounds
I
that
think
way.
so.
All right. I'm just saying I think
I think Brad has about as much free will as C-3PO.
I think well, he's got that inhibitor chip.
Yeah, it's
If we could just find
It's
it.
called years of Christian upbringing.
Yeah.
It's where another human being it would be where the prostate is.
What the hell is this?
You're going to get an exam one day and they're going to turn it off and you're going to go
God.
fucking wild.
I probably won't because I
gonna-
don't know how.
You're going to come in here with face tattoos.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But basically what I'm saying is that in the Star Wars universe, if you have to give a definitive binary answer to the question, are droids alive? It either ends up being that in the universe of Star Wars, you have slaves that are conscious and aware, and you just don't care. And sometimes you let them go and sometimes you don't. And the universe is okay with that. Or they're mindless, lifeless robots that people put life into
A lot of
and see. A
anthropomorphizing.
lot of anthropomorphizing.
Can I give an answer?
Morphizing.
I think maybe they look at them as that lifeless thing. It's just a robot to help, but they're in the process of it's changing, and they have to kind of eventually acknowledge it. And like in the future of the
yeah.
Star Wars universe, maybe it will be not cool to own a C-3PO slave.
You know, see, I think in early days of doing Star Wars, when I was at the helm, I think the question was kind of clear, or you didn't ask too many questions about it. And later Star Wars iterations, where I'm not running it,
Right.
you know, they do some things with droids that make you go, huh? Right?
Right.
Things that make you go, huh?
Yeah.
Right?
Contemporary reference.
That's a good idea for a show.
Things that make you go, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you do?
That's a good idea. That's another
That's
one.
right. And if you say, I don't know, you get slimed.
Perfect.
Write it down.
But yeah, because I was watching, when I was on the set of Mandalorian, there was a scene that they were doing where the Mando shows up at a cantina, but it's all droids. It's a droid cantina. And see, it's funny because in the original cantina that I created, the bartender says no droids allowed.
Right.
And now this is a droids only.
Wow.
Okay.
And I looked at that and I went, what the hell does this mean for the universe?
Right.
These droids are at a bar of their own choosing.
Yep.
Then they're all alive. Then every droid is a slave, right?
I think so.
I don't know.
And by the way, you know, we said the internet really grew after you went off of it in 2002.
Yeah.
A lot of it is this kind of discussion.
That's true.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot
Oh, I could get into that. I could get into that. Is it like civil discourse?
Oh, everyone's
No.
very, very respectful.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and
That's good. We're always our best selves.
we're always our best
Put our
selves.
best foot forward.
Right.
Yeah, anonymity has
digital
really helped with that.
That's great. That's good to know. That is good to know. A couple more names that exist that I'm upset with, and then we'll move on. And
Okay.
because I have to leave.
I think
I have to go.
I think I have one that you probably don't have on your list that might be a good one
Oh,
that
what's
you wish
that?
you came up with.
What is it?
Val Kilmer.
That's a great name. That's a great name.
Yeah.
No, it's a real person.
What if it was Cal Vilmer?
Okay.
I like Cal.
You can use Cal Vilmer.
I like
yeah,
Cal.
that's good.
Cal Kilmer.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's true. Get alliteration in there.
I do like the alliterations. Cal Kilmer. Like that a lot. Great. Cal Kilmer. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll have a release for you to sign after the show. Snuff porn.
It's scary.
I wanted that one.
Yeah.
Is it a name?
It could be.
Snuff porn?
It would have to be an unlikable character. What do you picture snuff porn as? What do you picture when you picture
a
snuff
lot of
porn?
feathers. Like think of a big bird, but he's a smuggler.
Okay.
Snuff porn. We got to go talk to snuff porn.
Not a lot of avian
We have
aliens.
to find.
No, not a lot. Not a lot of bird ones.
We got to find snuff porn. That's like the plot of the next one, right?
Right. We're looking for snuff porn.
Walk into the
It's
cantina.
well hidden.
We need it.
Yeah. We're looking for snuff porn. And then they all pull out their laser pistols.
Where can we find?
Yeah. And then a befeathered friend steps forward.
I'm snuff porn.
Pulls down their hood. It's me, snuff porn. What are you looking for? You're looking for my brother, snuff porno. eBay.
Oh, yeah. That's a good
That's
one.
a droid.
Yeah.
eBay. Come on, eBay, let's go. Doesn't it sound like a great droid?
It really does.
Let's go, eBay. Benedict Cumberbatch.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I almost pissed my pants.
Yeah, that's understandable.
I went, that's legal? You can have a name like that? That's amazing. Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Probably a farmer who just wanted to mind their own business, and then the Empire went poking in their nose into things,
Right.
and he had to defend himself.
Right.
Helped out a lot of people. Joseph Mengele.
I don't like that.
No.
Something about it rubs me the wrong way.
Okay, Joe Mengele.
There we go.
I like it.
Joey Mengele.
Yeah.
Joey. Give a little niceness to the name.
Right, right.
Joey. Oh, no, can't do that. Everybody will freak out. So I got 2 left.
Okay.
And then that's it. And then I gotta go, guys. I
Oh,
gotta get
man.
going. I gotta get
I still
going.
have so many questions about the Star Wars universe.
Well, no, it's almost the magic hour.
Yeah,
I got to get out there and make one of my little movies.
Yeah, right.
I use my phone now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I still can't edit though. I ask my wife to do it. She's the editor in the family, but
Yeah.
I say put my name as editor in the credits that you do.
Yep.
Here we go. Brad Roher.
Ugh,
Oh, yeah.
sounds like
I think this could be a fun
real
guy.
Really?
Brad Roher. Oh,
I
yeah.
like that.
Not like one of those live action like Muppets.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Bring it back.
That's true.
Bring it back. Maybe make him like Salacious Crumb's pal. You
Yeah.
know? What if Salacious Crumb had a huge dick? Hanging out in one of those trees, smack somebody in the face. What is that? Is that a tree limb? No, it was Salacious Crumb's best friend's penis.
Brad Roher.
Brad Roher. God damn it, Brad Roher.
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound fun? No?
I've heard it many times.
It's like a compliment, basically.
Yeah.
Chuck Staton.
Ah, yeah.
What if Salacious Crumb's other friend had a tiny penis?
But was always going around going, it's pretty big.
Natasha Lyonne comes back in. Just one more thing.
Ooh. Nat Leone.
Yeah.
Smuggler turned hero.
Yeah.
There are a lot of smugglers. There's an awful lot of smugglers.
Well, there's a lot of shipping regulations.
Right. I'll be
have
honest
to be
with you.
skirted.
I'll be honest with you. Most of the universe is just people that smuggle.
Yep.
They just smuggle.
Yeah.
And then finally, I was gonna do a fun one with Ray, but he's not here
He's probably still icing.
because
his
I
for
said
penis.
Ray ... and then I went, it's taken already. You goof. Right. Spelled differently, but still the same.
Yeah, still
Yeah.
taken. I guess in the real world, or I guess in this universe,
Real to me, damn it.
more than
If you see that wrestling clip,
I
you're
know
laughing.
more than one person can have the same name.
What?
Yeah. So there could be another Ray, but I can see where it would get confusing.
Well, no, see, what? No. Okay. No. Names work this way.
Okay.
If you're from a place,
Right.
the name kind of hints at that.
Yep.
Or if you're a race, it hints at that.
Oh, like Porkins.
Or if you do a job, it hints at that.
Okay. Well, I'm just
That's
saying,
it.
like
And there's only ever one person with that name.
but there's planets full of people or aliens.
Yeah.
So like the odds of Sebulba being the only or Watto being the only person.
Here we go again with the Watto stuff. Everybody has a problem with the Watto stuff. Just because it's definitely a Jewish horrible stereotype.
Yes. But Watto probably isn't the only Watto, right?
He's not the only Watto, but he's the only Watto.
Okay, but he's
Do you
not.
see what I'm saying?
No.
So a lot of the races in Star Wars, it's just one guy.
Okay.
It's just one guy.
Yeah.
All right. Like Yoda was only supposed to be one thing.
Yep.
Just Yoda. And then I take my hands off the wheel for 5 minutes. And suddenly there's another little Yoda. And everybody's like, wow, this really reinvigorated the entire franchise. And I'm like, really? You just made the little guy littler? That's all I had to do for you fuckers?
I do have a question about
fucking
Yoda.
gnashing ghouls.
I have a question about Yoda.
Yeah.
Where does it come out of?
Oh, for Yoda?
Yeah.
The Force.
Oh, okay.
It's the Force.
Weird.
Yeah. Or his cane sometimes.
That is weird.
Sometimes
no.
he points the cane and it'll come out of it.
Is it a cane or is it part of his body?
The cane is actually part of his body.
Wow.
People don't know that.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It looks like a cane.
It was like more like an antler.
Yeah, it's like a nail. Like a long nail.
Oh, I see. I
you
get
know,
it,
like a
fingernail.
Guinness Book of World Records kind of thing.
Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yoda was just like, I'll try it out.
Yeah.
I'll see what sticks. But yeah, people get upset when with these things, and honestly, I think the thing to remember in the Star Wars universe is if you like a character,
Right.
rest assured, there's a whole planet of that character. They look identical to it, and their race is actually the name that the person has used.
Okay.
So I had Chewie,
Yep.
Chewbacca,
Yep.
Chewbacca.
Fun name.
Everybody loves Chewbacca.
Yeah.
And so when the prequels came up, I was like, where's this guy from? What's his deal?
Yep.
And I did a lot of thinking.
Good.
I sat in my office for a long while, looking out the window
Yeah.
at my ranch. And I came up with a great idea, a really original idea. He comes from a planet of other Chewbaccas, and they all are Chewbacca.
Okay.
That's not
Just feels like.
aren't they Wookiees?
Yeah.
Oh.
Chewbacca's a Wookiee. He comes from the planet of Wookiee people.
Right.
So they're just all Wookiees.
Right.
You get it.
I get it.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw them.
You like Boba Fett?
Yeah.
Yeah. He comes from a planet full of fets. A whole bunch of bobas. He's a Mandalorian, so he
Right.
comes from the planet of Mandalore.
Yes.
With other Mandalorians.
Yes.
And they all basically have the same deal.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
There's no one on the Mandalorian planet that's like not like him.
Oh, okay.
They're all basically fighty bounty hunter people. You know? No, but there's no arts or crafts or anything like that. There's no, on Mandalore, nobody's like, a chef. Nothing like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They're just all bounty hunters.
They're all bounty hunters.
Right.
They're all warriors
Right.
because Boba is a warrior.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
And
saying?
he was first.
It's like you know how humans in Star Wars can have different traits and characteristics.
Yeah.
Yeah, human beings, they can have that. You know.
Okay.
You can have Han Solo, a brash, ruffian type of sexy fella.
Yeah, smuggler.
Yep. The idea that he would be like slightly turned on by Han Solo. Just a real horny guy. Han Solo just smashing pussy all over the galaxy.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Dude, was there any more
Before
of
he
that?
met Princess Leia. Yeah.
Was there more of that in the original scripts?
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, a lot.
Like
originally, the prequels were all going to be just like like how he got his groove fully. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even his groove back. He initially got his groove.
Yeah, how he initially got his groove. How Han Solo initially got his groove.
Right.
Yeah, it was just him smashing. And that's why when Solo came out, that's why they had to fire the original co-creators of Solo.
Right.
Right.
And bring in my pal to direct it. Because I had snuck them some notes,
Yep.
and they were kind of enamored by me,
Yep.
and they actioned a lot of those notes, and a lot of those notes were just Han Solo crushing pussy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, he was on planet G-Spot for a while,
Wow.
and hard to find.
Yeah.
That planet is tricky. If you want, I can do it a different way. He was on planet Clitoris for a while. Hard to find.
Yep.
Pretty tricky. You need a map. And that's where we got the whole idea for the final Star Wars film in the newest trilogy. You need a wayfinder. You got to find your way there. And then you get there and you find out it's just a MacGuffin.
Yep.
Ah, yeah.
It's not real.
Yeah, right.
Right? We all know that, right? That's a myth.
Yeah.
The female orgasm?
Well,
I've never heard of it.
I think it's a myth. It's like midichlorians. What's that about?
Yeah.
So, this has been fun.
Yeah.
A real treat. Probably won't be back again, but I just wanted to say hi.
Well, thank you for coming.
Long
in.
time, first time,
Yeah.
I love it. My favorite thing was the names you wish you thought of yourself.
Oh, I didn't realize we were measuring my amazing ideas for their worth. I would have tried to sell it harder, I guess.
I
Let
thought
me
all
ask you,
your ideas.
what
were great.
huge film franchise have you created? Let me get a good look at you there. Nope. Don't think you're. I don't think you're Albert R. Broccoli over there. Was that his name? Is that his name? Albert R. Broccoli, creator of James Bond, the only other longest-running franchise in the world. No,
True.
Just
You're
checking.
right. Yeah.
Nope.
Keep
Not,
looking.
nope. Maybe a Steve Cauliflower over there, but not Albert R. Broccoli. That's for sure. Sorry, I got a little defensive.
It's okay. It's
But,
all right.
people have been hard on me for decades, so what are you going to do? People have said some horrible shit about me
They
throughout
really
the
have.
years. They really have, yeah. And I just let it roll right off my back. You know what helps? Money. Honestly,
Yeah.
it helps being
I imagine it.
wildly rich. It
I-
really does help.
One quick question about you before you go.
Yeah, sure.
In the Star Wars universe, oftentimes Sith characters are portrayed like with black and red as their primary like colored motif.
Yeah. Oh my. Oh. I didn't even think about that. Oh my. Jeez, when I was standing in front of my closet, looking at all of my clothing, going, what would George Lucas wear? I never thought the black and red motif would come through.
Yep.
It's tricky because in the Star Wars universe, when someone turns bad, their clothing immediately turns black.
Yep.
Immediately turns black. Even if they have a lightsaber, it's red. Are you bad? Oh, it's red. It's like a mood ring.
Right. Okay.
It's a forced mood ring.
Right.
You know? Until Samuel L. Jackson shows up and he's like, I want a purple one. And we're like, give him the purple one.
Hey, Samuel L. Jackson.
He's Sam Jackson. I had to talk to him and I said, no, you see, the bad guys get red ones and the good guys get green or blue ones.
Right.
That's basically what we do. And he was like, well, I want a purple one. I was like, all right, give him the purple one.
All right.
Sam wants the purple one. I didn't say anything else.
No.
I said nothing else.
You gotta be careful.
I heard you said something else.
What did I say?
No,
I said, give that bad motherfucker his lightsaber. So it's been a lot of fun.
I really thought Ray was going to get back down here before you had to go.
I think he
but
really
alas,
did hurt his penis on those stairs.
He must have.
You know what? I'm going to go check on him.
All right. Well, thank you for coming by. If you see Ray, tell him we need him for the next segment.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. Long time, first time.
yeah.
And I hope at some point maybe I can do a call in or something. You know,
That'd be fun.
I can't be running down to the studio.
Understandable.
Every time you have a quick question about the Star Wars universe.
Right. We'll make a list.
You know, if I had to go answer every question about Star Wars personally that everybody ever had, I'd never get anything done.
That's true.
When would I make my little movies?
Good point. Good
It's
point.
true.
When would I make my little movies?
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. We actually do.
I'm living for me now.
We do an audio only special sometimes about answering mail from our
Whose
listeners.
mail?
Our write-in mail for our listeners.
Oh, I thought you just sort of like collected various
Yeah.
letters
No,
and mail
it's
from other
mostly
people.
addressed to us.
Like Civil War letters or something.
Right. No, but maybe that's a good place where George Lucas, if any one of our listeners has questions about the Star Wars universe, they could write in, and George Lucas, maybe you could just call in and answer.
Yeah, maybe curate the questions down a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
going to answer every single question. And if anybody asks any questions about droids and are they alive, I can't answer those questions.
Yeah.
That's for you and your God, you know? But I'm happy to answer questions. So, yeah, if you have, a question or, if you have what you think is an answer, run it by me,
Yeah, right,
Perfect.
right.
Because whatever your idea is about Star Wars, that can be as real as you want it to be, until you put pen to paper, in which case I'm right and you're wrong.
Okay.
Because I wrote it and I created it and I made it.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
It's
right.
that simple.
Yeah, I get it.
So, all right, I'm going to go make some more of my little movies.
All right. All right.
It was
Thank
a lot
you.
of fun. Thanks for having me.
you.
I think I really found the character probably in the last 10 minutes.
But you found it.
There it was.
Yep.
It was right under that rock.
Yep.
Ooh, the rock.
That's a good name.
It's a good name. What if we had him come in and he was just the Rock from Planet Rock? And they were all down there.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I'd watch it. Yeah.
I'd watch it
Yeah.
on my little screen in my little movie theater I have on the ranch.
Oh, nice.
I just watch my own little movies there.
That's great.
Just for me. I'm making movies for me now.
Yeah.
Audience of one. And my wife. I make her edit.
Yes.
So, all right. I'm going to go now.
Thank you, George.
Not a problem. Thank you. And thank you.
Thanks,
I want to say Chuck. All right. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Wow. I
you
can't
believe it?
That is insane that George Lucas.
I do have a lot of questions about Star Wars now that I think about it,
I just wonder
But I feel pretty uninformed. So I'm like a newbie.
like a Padawan.
Yeah, I'm like a Padawan when it comes to the Star Wars universe.
You should get the hair like the Padawan.
What is it like?
The rat tail.
Oh, with the buzz cut?
Yeah.
That's like a bad kid.
Yeah.
That was the bad kid in school if you had that haircut.
That's true. The guy whose locker was next to mine.
Really? What's his name?
It was Eric. And I had a big crush on a girl, and then Eric dated her for a year and a half, and I hated it because they'd smooch at the locker next to me. And I was
You
like,
slam your knocker?
yeah. Oh, Ray.
Oh, hey.
Oh my gosh. You met George Lucas was here.
Yeah, I saw him in the hallway.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
looking for a Band-Aid.
Why? What happened?
Nothing. It would be embarrassing to talk about. But yeah, so he, you guys saw George.
Yeah, talk to him.
Yeah, we exchanged emails to set this up.
You know, it's
know.
fun. He left his notebook here. We have George Lucas's notebook.
Wow. The George Lucas's actual notebook for
Yeah.
names.
Right.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Any winners in there?
That's fucked up. Wow. Okay. Yeah. No, this one this list just says names I can't tell anyone.
Oh, boy.
George, I've got your notebook. check it out. Yeah, he reached out to me because he's a big fan of the podcast.
Oh,
and I knew.
feels
and
good.
he was getting sick of us making fun of his name choices.
Right.
So that was fun.
That was
long. What's up? Hi.
I really do have a lot of questions about Star Wars. I realize I kind of don't. I don't know. I've seen things so sparingly over the years and so far between that I don't really know. Like the whole, we talked about Samuel Jackson having a purple lightsaber thing. Mm-hmm. Is there a specific? I mean, I realize that the bad guys have red ones and the good guys have, I thought, blue ones, but I guess also
And green, yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the deal with that?
I don't know. I just know that that's like a thing. It's so weird with Star Wars because so much of it is just because like the team asks George Lucas.
Yes.
And there's an anecdote about that of there was a team doing something for a Star Wars thing, and they got a hold of George Lucas because there was going to be blood. Oh, it was during the prequel.
Yeah.
The prequels. And like Yoda is having a fight towards the end of the prequels.
Yep.
And they wanted to show him like wipe blood from his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, what color blood does Yoda have?
Yeah.
What do the Yodas have for blood?
Right.
What color? And they called George down to the studio and they asked him, and he just looked at them and he shrugged and went, blue?
That's fun.
So he has blue blood. But the fact that he went, blue?
It's so weird.
That's what so much of Star Wars is
Right.
just like the fandom and other creatives involved making all these other things, countless things, books, games, comic books, movies, TV shows, all this stuff, and having to be like, what is the rule for that? You know, and just having one guy that you can check with.
Yep.
That's wild.
Yes.
I mean, I'm going to ask a question. This might seem dumb. I feel like it's really weird because we've talked about over the years the idea that like a lot of the horror series from like the 80s, like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, they're so crazy, and you kind of have to be a little bit more forgiving because at the time home video wasn't a thing.
Sure.
And so they were only going off of the popularity of people going to the movies to see a thing one time.
Yeah.
Not rewinding, not pausing, not rewatching whenever they want. So the idea of changing the rules of Freddy Krueger movie to movie was more acceptable.
Yeah.
But now we live in a world where all that stuff is immediately accessible and
Right.
it's all kind of like a canon thing, like we were talking about. And Star Wars was created when that didn't exist too, even earlier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they started making it in 72 or something like that. So it's funny because I think that it was made at a time where filmmaking was more like, yeah, put this in there. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's tough too because like originally it was just the trilogy, and like you don't have to answer too many follow-up questions with that.
Right.
Right.
But then more stuff started happening. The books were being written
Yep.
and things like that. And then the prequels come out to answer questions that create other questions. It's
Yes.
like, why this? Why that?
Yeah.
As if there is like a
true-
logical, true answer.
Right.
Like this is a real answer because it's coming from that one guy.
Yeah.
And that to me is what's wild about it.
Yeah.
Like he didn't need to know. Like George Lucas never needed to know and never does need to know like where this alloy is mined from that they make this thing out of.
Yeah.
In order to tell a good story.
Right.
It's later on when so much world is built on top of it with all these other stories where people go, where is that made? Why did they do that?
Right.
Because we just saw the mine thing happen. Why does that happen? And you
Yeah.
have to answer all of those questions.
Child labor.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So what's the world that is the most like well built? Is it like The Hobbit with like that kind of stuff?
Even that is like kind of
kooky.
has a lot of like, you know, the appendices and,
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
There's a book called The Silmarillion that tells
Yeah.
the mythology of that world.
It's complicated.
and you know, and then he had other notes, and there's a lot going on there.
I guess the easiest thing to do would be to create something that exists in the real world. And
Sure.
then you're just talking about personal connections and you're not talking about
Yeah, but if we're
magic
talking
in their
about like
blood
basically what we're talking about is fantasy and sci-fi.
Yeah,
Those
exactly.
two things.
Yeah, things
and
that
it's
are-
tough because Star Wars combines fantasy and sci-fi,
Right.
Yeah.
which is why it hit the way it did.
Yeah.
And it's also weird because I was thinking about this recently. There's so much fun storytelling that can be had in science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
It is weird. It does suck a little bit that Star Wars is so big that you can't really successfully create another thing like it. You can't make another world like Star Wars. Right? That it will immediately get compared to Star Wars and lose out to Star Wars because it's had so long to build.
Yeah.
So if you come up with this fictional science fiction fantasy world or galaxy, like a Star Wars, but there's all these other things that are involved that have new rules and new structure.
Yeah.
They can't exist. Like somebody was talking about Andor, the TV show, and how much they liked it, but they asked the question of like, I liked it so much, but I also saw this and was like, it doesn't need to be in the Star Wars world to be as good as it is, right? There's no Jedi, there's no lightsabers, nothing like that. Star Wars doesn't own the idea of an oppressive regime in the future.
Right.
And yet that's all we have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is a weird thing. And I would love to see more. I would love to see an explosion of that stuff because so much stuff came out of like when Star Wars, the original trilogy hit, and just a million different little spin-off ideas and that people were doing that were aping Star Wars because it was so popular.
Yeah.
But that also made it possible for like Battlestar Galactica
That's
to
what I was
exist.
gonna say, yeah.
And Star Trek to get a resurgence and things like that. Like it's really tricky.
It is really tricky. It is really funny because like it's one of those things where part of it is if you came up with an idea like Andor and the people who want to buy it or want to make it do own like an IP like Star Wars, they're like, well, why would we not make it Star Wars?
Of course.
But then the opposite side, the other side of that is like, now there are a lot of rules that we can't contradict when we're making this, which is so weird.
Yeah,
it is really strange. It's funny. Yeah, it's funny. I was thinking about this a little bit. We're going to talk about Spider-Man, the new Spider-Verse movie. I was thinking about it. In
you
terms
lucky
of,
ducks and geese are getting an incredibly long episode.
I was thinking about the Marvel. I
didn't know
stuff.
how long George would be here.
That's fine. I didn't know about. I thought about the Marvel stuff and It's funny because they've created so much variation, I guess, and it does feel like Marvel is a little bit freer to be like, well, here's Spider-Man, who is essentially a Jedi, right? For lack of a better term.
Sure.
In terms of like, he's like super powered.
Yeah.
But some in the world of like Harry Potter or the world of Star Wars, that puts you in a specific classification of thing. And in Marvel, everything is an anomaly. Spider-Man was bit by a radioactive spider.
Well, no, I mean, that's comic books in general.
Right. Exactly.
That's not just Marvel. That's DC,
Yeah,
Image,
it's everything.
IDW,
It's everything.
Dynamite, everybody.
Yeah, I'm just saying that when you have a world like that, the rules, like even Harry Potter, I'm sure, trying to make a new Harry Potter thing, you'd be crushed down by a lot of rules.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
Yeah. Should we pivot to...
Let's piv.
Let's piv?
Yeah, and I'd say this. Let's do some spoiler-free
Jeremy
reviews.
Pivot. No?
We'll do some spoiler-free reviews of Star Wars, of Spider-Verse. It's called Into the Spider-Verse?
Across the
I
Spider-Verse.
keep forgetting.
Yes, that's true.
Because there's three. There's Across, Beyond, and Into.
There will be a third.
Yeah,
it's
Beyond
not out
is a new
yet.
one.
Yeah.
So let's do some spoiler-free talk about Spider-Verse.
Sure.
Then we're getting to spoiler.
Yeah.
full.
And
we'll warn
genuinely,
everybody.
per the stuff we were just talking about, if you have Star Wars thoughts, if you have George Lucas thoughts, whatever,
Right.
fun ones, silly ones, whatever, name stuff, or you want to talk genuinely about Star Wars discourse, hit us up on our social medias, Funbearable Pod, on pretty much every platform.
Right.
Yep.
And you can always I can't even talk right now. I have to burp and I'm trying to hold it down. I'm
You could
sorry.
email us
Thank you, Bradley.
at funbearablepod@gmail.com.
I really was about to for that whole time. Oh my God. I was edging. I
like to edge my burps.
Gmail.
Across the Spider-Verse
Yeah.
is the second film created by Lord and Miller. Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
That's right.
Chris Lord film.
Oh, I thought it was the singer.
Yeah. Lorde.
Yeah, I thought it was Lord and
Steve
TJ Miller.
Oh boy. Yes. different directions.
Yeah,
Into the Spider-Verse. Into the Spider-Verse came out
web. That's T.J. Miller. I don't know. I guess.
a few years ago to acclaim.
I loved
Yeah.
I loved the first one, which was Into the Spider-Verse. And when I went into it, I think I didn't really know that much about the making of it and how they were really playing with animation styles, playing with frame rates and to indicate different characters,
Right.
like level of progression, becoming the heroes that they are. Because obviously it's about Peter Parker as like a more traditional Spider-Man and the newer Miles Morales learning how to become Spider-Man. And they did a lot of really interesting stuff with the style of animation that they went with and the varying styles of animation to bring in Spider-Man Noir and Spider-Ham and all these characters. And so when I first saw Into the Spider-Verse, I was pretty blown away by that concept as a whole because it's something I haven't seen before.
Well, I will say like the art style. You know, we're probably going to talk a lot about that for the new movie.
Yes.
And I agree with everything you said about the art style. But I do also want to point out the story itself in the first movie, Into the Spider-Verse.
Yep.
Fantastic. Like, as a comic book reader, it was wonderful to see this story play out. And I've seen all of the Spider-Man movies.
Right.
You know, it's pop culture. You see all of that stuff. And this movie, when I saw it, I left and was saying I think I saw it with John Porch.
First one.
Comedian friend, John O'Connor now. He had to change his name for witness protection. Just for a goof.
Yeah.
And but no, I was saying to him, like, this was the closest I ever got to understanding Spider-Man.
Right.
Right.
And it's about Miles, but it's also an emblem of what Spider-Man is, because Miles is a Spider-Man.
Yes.
Yes.
I think Miles is dynamic and fun and exciting, and I love that character. I love Miles Morales as a character. I think that's really fun. It's amazing that a huge swath of like younger kids can get into this and enjoy it, and they love Miles Morales and see Peter Parker as like, oh yeah, he's the fun like older guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not even their Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Which is wonderful. But that story really did tell... It got across the concept of Spider-Man, what drives him, way better than how many movies that came before that? 5?
Yeah, at least more than maybe at least
Oh no,
5.
plus the other,
Yeah, I was
plus
gonna
the
say.
MCU stuff. So multiple, the 6, 7 movies,
Right.
whatever it is, giving you an idea of like what drives this character, what's the motivation here,
Right.
beyond Uncle Ben dying. Like they all relied so heavily on that part of the origin story, it ignored the idea of like, yeah, but why does he keep doing it? You know what I mean?
Right.
Why does he keep doing this? And I love the emotion that hits there by the end of the film of like, you just keep getting back up, you keep doing the thing,
Right.
and it's such a great message. I love that my son can get that. I love that it came through in such a way that movie. I went from liking Spider-Man to being a fan of Spider-Man.
Right.
Yeah.
And that movie made me appreciate it. You know,
So
it's great.
good. And I mean, you know, I loved the balance of humor. I love the balance, and we're going to talk about this probably more with the new movie. The idea of here's the thing that everybody knows. Here's the thing that like the well-trodden territory.
Yeah.
And obviously, a lot of this comes from how they've built the comics, especially in the past 15 to 20 years. Because I think Ultimate Spider-Man started in like 2004 or 2003 or early 2000s.
And before that was the penultimate Spider-Man.
Yes. I hated that guy. But the idea of like, you tell the story so many times and so many different versions of it that essentially the new story kind of has to acknowledge that the other stories are well-trodden territory.
Right.
Puts you in a new place narratively to try to find a new place to go.
Yeah.
And that's a really interesting place to be. It's something that I'm always attracted to in terms of what would you do? You know, we talk about pitch doctors all the time, and it is a funny thing to be put in that position. Honestly, it's kind of almost relates to the Star Wars thing we were just talking about, where there's so much of stuff that exists.
Yeah.
What do you do now?
Right,
What do we
right.
do now? And I think that they handled it in such a bizarrely artistic way
Yeah.
in terms of like, well, we're going to use the visual medium of the newest version of like computer animation to help differentiate, to help do this stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
It really builds it in a crazy way, and that's just the aesthetic of these new movies. That's just I'm just talking about the aesthetic, and I'm blown away by that direction.
Sure, yeah.
But
no, the visual, like I love the evolution of the visual storytelling. Like
Right.
they took what they had in the original and went, great, now let's up this and we'll use it to tell even more of like the character and where you're coming from.
Right.
And it's again, it's like very, I keep saying dynamic. It's just it's alive. It crackles on the screen, right? Like oh, now I sound like Roger Ebert. No, wait. This is my impression of Roger. No,
No, don't do it.
no, don't do it. Don't do it. No,
I didn't do it.
I don't,
No, that was just my vocal tick.
oh, okay. But I love that is there, and I have to point this out. There's a multiverse situation happening in
Right.
the movie,
new one,
obviously
yeah.
because
Yeah.
Into the Spider-Verse kicked off with that.
Right.
It's based on an original set of comics, right? And that they played with a little bit more. But my takeaway from that when I saw the movie was that they have created, and this isn't a spoiler or anything like that, they have created a more cohesive and well thought out multiverse than the MCU has in multiple films. It's more clear how it works, right? Than the multiverse in the MCU, I think.
It's funny because I was thinking about this a lot, and I do have my alternative take on this is I almost feel like the medium that they're telling the story with, I don't know if you can really do that with live action in general.
Sure, but I guess what I'm saying is like I think
the
the
actual
rules
mechanics of the
are
story.
are laid out more clearly, and because this story is telling the story that it's driving towards of this identity thing, and it exists because of the multiverse. It's not doing the MCU. The MCU multiverse stuff to me is bland as hell and doesn't give me anything other than whoa, different colored shirt. Like that's to me, that's what it feels like. It feels very empty.
Okay.
It feels like wow, different people from all over the place with different backgrounds, and they have all these things. And like, okay, what are you doing with it? What are you going to do with it? Not what happens,
Right.
but what is the thing? What's the real thing here, right?
Yeah.
Multiverse of Madness. It's like, yeah, those events took place that you show. Like, wow, Doctor Strange
Right.
really went through a crazy trip.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Yeah.
How is the character different? Not in just a shitty way of like, well, what if he talks to one of his like really bad versions?
Yeah.
Right? Like it's not the growth doesn't feel real there.
Yeah.
I agree. I think
yeah.
I was just gonna say I do think they killed it with No Way Home. I think that was great.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I know
but
what you
that's
mean.
closer. That's closer to what this is.
Of course.
Where it's like, great, now there's multiples, but what does that really mean?
Right,
Right? Like,
exactly.
what are you getting at here?
Yeah.
And using it as a vehicle for like character exploration, great.
That's what I'm talking
and
about.
that's what
yeah.
Spider-Verse
Yeah.
did, and the new one does, which is like, hey, okay, but what does that mean for these characters?
Yeah.
And when I say they play with like the rules more clearly,
Mm-hmm.
there's stuff that we can get into in spoiler territory.
Yeah.
But like they deal with, oh, these things have consequences, and here's how those consequences are enacted,
Right.
and here's the way they work. And you watch that and go, yep, got it, cool,
Right.
Yeah.
all set. Instead of just like, oh, so that she's bad, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like it's very clearly laid
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And I think it's great because there's so much multiverse stuff now. So much stuff of just like different universe. And to see it used with care.
Yeah.
That's why Everything Everywhere All at Once is so powerful.
Right. Yeah.
They're doing a multiverse thing, but it's not empty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like real. It's a thought out thoughtful thing that they're doing.
It's the way that I would think about it is like if you look at Multiverse of Madness, in that movie you get alternate versions of different people, but you get Charles Xavier from the X-Men series, and you get the new Fantastic Four, Mr. Fantastic, and like those are supposed to be like big moments, and they are. But that's what I would refer to as like the sizzle aspect of what can we do.
Yeah.
and not the
But
stake.
that's what I mean by
it's
calling
it's
that a big moment. I'm
that-
like,
well-
for what?
Well-
Because we know that it's IP that's coming in.
because
That's a fucking sales presentation.
I don't agree with that exactly. Just because it is exciting to say I care about this character and it's an important part of the history, and now it might be brought in, which is Mr. Fantastic. That makes sense to me. In the same way that when they were first building the Avengers, the idea of building the Avengers and bringing them all together is exciting.
Yeah,
it's
but
the same
there's-
thing as that.
But like showing it at that level, what we're talking about, like what
That's
happened
what I
in
mean.
that
So
is
that's
like-
why I think it's
yeah,
like
it's at the level of like a post-credit scene.
exactly.
There's no substance.
That's why I think it's like all sizzle. So in
no steak.
That's what it is. And in Multiverse of Madness, I mean, I think the name really set up expectations that were hard to match. And if you
Yeah.
remember, it came after Spider-Man.
Right.
So Spider-Man No Way Home comes in and kills it
Yeah.
and actually tells a story that has to do
That
with the
has
link
substance.
these characters. And then Multiverse of Madness felt more like a movie of the week thing.
Yeah.
And they didn't really explore it in a way that was
And I think
important.
with No Way Home and Spider-Verse,
Yeah.
they're doing the thing of like, okay, I'm a Spider-Man and you're a Spider-Man, and here's how we're different.
Right.
But why does that matter? Like, what is that difference between us say about ourselves?
Yeah.
Right. And that's what they're examining. And I think they do the same thing in Into the Spider-Verse. You know, I love that. And we'll get into the spoilers later. But
Yeah. I would say before we get into spoilers, it was my expectations were I think this is going to be great, and they were exceeded. My expectations were exceeded. I thought it was awesome. I would go see it right away. I'd be surprised if a big like summer blockbuster movie exceeds it for me. And Guardians 3 was a lot more emotional.
Right.
But Spider-Verse is just, it's so well done. And we're going to talk about the twists and turns and stuff like that. But for my spoiler free, I'd say go see it. Especially if you're like, animated movie, it's for kids. I was like, go see it. It's so well done. It's art for sure.
I was astounded by the visuals, by the art styles, by the choices that were made, by the changes that happened on screen. It's kind of scene to scene or moment to moment. And yes, there are background jokes that I'm like, I appreciate that as a background joke, but as far as laying out the different spider persons, loved it. And, the story made sense. And, it explored this character of Miles Morales and kind of what has changed for him since the first movie and what is currently changing in a way that made sense. Did family dynamics, did superhero, did action scenes, did humor. I was tickled, but that's because I was sitting next to Chuck. And that's his favorite thing to do in a movie.
I love this movie.
His
hands are so slippery from the butter.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's a contender for the Brammy for favorite movie of the year.
Yeah. My review, I saw it with my son, my 9-year-old.
Yep.
And we got a puppy this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And so we did not, he slept very poorly because he was just so excited.
Yeah.
I slept poorly because I was just anxiety of
Yeah.
was that the dog? Was that the dog? Was that the dog? And my wife slept poorly too because the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So we were all super tired, and he had a baseball game, and then we went to see the movie, so he was exhausted.
Right.
And this isn't a review of the quality of the movie from him. He fell asleep
Nice.
watching it.
Good. Yeah.
Because he was just tired. And
See, if he had been sitting next to Chuck.
yeah, he would have
Tickle,
stayed
tickle,
awake.
tickle.
He would have gotten a helper adult,
Yeah.
somebody that you can trust,
Right.
and say, I don't want to sit next to that man anymore.
Yeah.
He's touching me,
Yeah.
right?
With glee.
By the way,
Yeah.
it's mostly elbows.
Buttery elbows, though, which is so weird. Yeah.
How's he eating that popcorn?
I don't want to get my hands dirty.
Dropped it again.
Damn.
Dropped it.
No, you do it for me. And but no, so it was so funny though because we were there and he's watching and just his head keeps dipping,
Yep.
and I felt so bad, but also like, motherfucker, this movie's great. What is wrong with you?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
But so I was just like, it's fine. Don't worry. And I reclined the seat for him because it was, nice theater with recliners. and it was like it dawned on him like, oh yeah, the seat goes back.
Yeah.
You know, so he slept a little bit and then woke back up. I thoroughly loved it. He did love the movie.
Yeah.
He just, he's a small boy. What do you get off his fucking back?
Yeah.
He's a kid. He's a little kid. Let him have his innocence for a little while longer.
Yeah, what's wrong with you,
God.
Sabrina?
Yeah. You know what? I'm just so sick of this stuff. Like, let him be a kid, Dad. Listener, whoever you are, whatever. Cats in the cradle in the silver. No, but it was so good. I really, really loved it. I will say for the review, I agree with both of you, but you should know going in if you haven't seen it, because I didn't know this, and I don't know if you guys knew going in.
Chuck reminded me going in.
Okay, I didn't know. I hadn't heard about it because I wasn't reading up on the movie because I
Right.
knew I wanted to see it. I didn't even watch the last trailer that came out.
I only knew it because like Amy Pascal said it like right after the first one came out, like within the first 6 months of after the first one.
Yeah.
She said the next thing we're going to do is going to be a multi-part story.
Right.
And it's going to make
Right.
the first movie look quaint by comparison.
Yeah.
Is what I remember. I
Yeah.
believe it was.
And she
Amy Pascal.
flipped people off when she said it
Yeah.
too. Quaint by comparison.
She grabbed her crotch and went,
Yeah.
quaint.
Yeah. Didn't she say like eat my quaint?
Yeah. She
So
It's
weird.
very confusing.
had
Very
a shirt that said it.
Yeah. And then she handed out business cards and it said Amy Pasquaint. Ew. But anyway, no. Longest story ever, made a little bit shorter.
Right.
It is a part 1.
Yeah. So
This,
you thought it was going to be wrapped up when you were like, we're 2 hours into this thing.
I know. I'm like, I remember feeling like, God, we're just now getting to the climax moment, and that's when it hit to be continued. And I genuinely didn't know. I just remember towards the end of the movie, I'm like, this is great. It's fucking long,
Yeah.
but it's really great.
Yeah.
And it is pretty long. I mean, there's so much packed into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I'm amazed at how much like backstory they can give multiple characters in this one.
Yeah.
And also lay out new rules for the
Yeah.
Spider-Verse and do all the things and update us on where Miles is. Like it's
Yeah.
really impressive. But when that to be continued hit,
I know.
my 9-year-old son and my 40-year-old ass are sitting there and we both just our jaws dropped together. It was like, oh, he's my son. I had a little mini me sitting next to me and we both went like, it was like, what? Is it to be continued?
Yeah,
like we
yeah.
were blown away.
Yeah.
And because I just didn't know. I
Yeah.
didn't know. I figured, there's going to be another one, but I didn't know that there was already like an announcement of
Yeah.
this thing. It's
Yeah.
like, here's the other name.
Yeah.
We had some people who were vocal processors in our theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when To Be Continued came up, it was, oh, how are you going to end it like that when it's just getting to the best part? And I'm like, oh. And this was a person who had verbally processed most of the movie
Yeah. It's
at full volume.
I will say this though, like there's this feels like a part 1 movies.
Yep.
For sure.
This was like the most part 1 a part 1 can
Right.
be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, it was just like, it was just like Fast X, where it's like, hey, the story is definitely still happening.
Yeah, but I mean, Fast X had a little bit more of like a conclusionary thing
Sure,
going on.
sure.
Like Back to the Future 2 at the end of that
Yeah.
movie, right?
Yep.
When he comes
Running back around the
he
corner.
comes running back around the corner.
But
and
I'm
he's
back.
like, I'm back
I'm back
from the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Doc passes out. And then it says to be concluded.
Yeah.
That I'm like, that like to me, that's like, oh, this was a part 1. Wow. But it's a cohesive full movie and it's
Right.
done.
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah, sure.
Like it told its story.
This was a part 1 of a story.
This was, we didn't even finish this.
Right.
Surprise, guys, that was act 1.5 and half of act 2.
Yeah, right.
You know, versus other part 1s
I
have
know what
a
you mean.
yeah.
I know what you mean.
You get it. But no, it is really fantastic. But just when you see it, just know that nothing gets wrapped up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's still very open.
Yeah.
And so if you like it, don't die
Yeah, you better not.
now. Don't
You better
die.
not.
Don't die soon.
Yeah. We were talking about this last night. I was
Wouldn't
like,
that suck?
we were talking about it. I was like, man, it's so funny. We're gonna walk out of this summer with like Fast and Furious and Spider-Verse like continuing their stories.
Yeah.
Which is kind of unheard of. I think previous to Infinity.
I said they were gonna crossover.
Oh yeah.
Previous
The
to
Domiverse.
I wonder if Infinity War and Endgame kind of were like, oh, you can do this if you have a big enough audience, you can just be like, yeah, we're gonna tell a multi-movie story.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I guess Star Wars kind of does it too, but that feels a lot more specific to Star Wars, and they usually do come to a conclusion at the end of each movie. It's like a story.
Yeah.
Especially if you're just gonna say, oh, by the way, Snoke was alive the whole time, but anyway, or the Emperor was alive the whole time.
Yeah.
Did you say Snope?
I did
did-
Snope. Who's that?
Snoke.
Snopes is a website you go to see if something is real or
That's
not.
why I thought they called him that, because he was the.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Anyway, we're gonna do some spoilers on Across the Spider-Verse. So if you don't want any spoilers, you can tune out now. Thank you for listening.
And before you tune out with the spoilers, I will say this. This is a minor spoiler, but nothing about the plot. Okay? So even if you're like, I don't want to be spoiled, you can still hear this. I will say, and I think we should have this discussion before we go behind the spoiler wall.
Okay.
Because I want everybody to hear this.
Spoilerverse.
Yeah, the Spoilerverse. No, that's Fast and Furious franchise, because they all have spoilers.
Spoilers.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
It was good.
It was
good.
It was good.
Don't you remember Ray loves puns now?
yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's my whole fucking thing, man.
Yeah.
I straight up love puns.
like
I'm
it
a
enough.
pun slut.
Yeah.
In the Siobhan episode, when you say, "This is what you've reduced me to,"
Oh, yeah.
I'm mashing buttons and coming up with fish puns. I was like,
Yeah,
I love
it was
that.
a real dark tea time of the soul, you know, for sure. Just like if you could zoom in on me right then, all you hear is "Hello, darkness, my old friend."
we had the Grinch X-ray machine, and your heart was shrinking.
It was slowly turning black
Yeah,
and turning
yeah.
to coal. No, but I do think it's fucked up that they did introduce Kevin Spacey. I do think that's weird,
Yeah.
and they shouldn't have done it. I thought it was off-putting to me. My son was confused. He has no idea who that is.
Right.
He doesn't know why I'm going
Villains,
like that.
Villains need to be villains.
I-
You know, me and
I-
Brad have a saying.
All right. So when Kevin Spacey showed up on screen
Yeah.
in Across the Spider-Verse, there was somebody else who verbally processed and audibly shouted, "Yes."
They were, this guy. Yeah, finally, he said.
I said
Yeah.
one of
Finally,
us.
he
one of
exclaims.
us. And I stood up and I was doing that, but no
he,
one.
he was running.
You
he
were
was running
coming out
around-
of the movie theater like skipping, and you're like, "He's back! He's back! He's back, baby!"
He went around-
and then
he-
you took your shirt off and showed your big Kevin Spacey tattoo on your back.
The
Yeah.
Spaceman.
The Spaceman,
He was-
Space Jam.
It says the Spaceman and the Sandman, and it's Adam Sandler and Kevin. Spacey.
yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And I'm sorry, your tramp stamp is Space Jam.
My tattoo artist is like, we're running out of room.
Just draw smaller.
He's like, can you gain some of that weight back?
the tattoo artist goes home at the end of the day, and he's like, "What am I?
Putting my kids through college.
Yeah.
What am I doing with my life?"
Hello, darkness, my old friend. But I do think it was weird that Kevin Spacey was on screen. I think it was weird that he was live action.
Yep.
Not a cartoon.
Yep.
I think it was weird that he breaks the fourth wall
Yep.
Yeah.
and looks directly at the audience, like
Yep.
looks right down the barrel of the camera, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm back."
It was-
right, and I
well,
was like, "What the hell?"
I thought it was
with
weird
those like droopy eyelids that he has. Like, yeah,
Before he
I'm
does
back.
the fourth wall thing, I thought it was weird because they're shooting him from one angle, and he goes up to the right wall, and he goes like first wall, and he breaks it down.
Yeah,
and he went to
yeah,
the
that was
back, and he went
weird.
second wall. Then he went to third one. Then he
Yeah.
looked at the camera and he put his fist. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
he did that. And then it was weird because it was in 3D, even though no one was wearing 3D
I
glasses.
know,
How did they
and it
do
did
that?
have a little text thing,
Yeah.
an action bubble that said like "blammo"
Yeah,
on
it's a
it.
blammo. And then there
Yeah.
was like the fans that blew like a puff of air.
Yep,
and we
yep.
all, all of our hair.
It
blew back.
was like the Bugs Life thing.
Yeah, it was
Just-
really weird.
Brad's glasses flew off his
Yeah.
head.
It was really, really weird. And I don't like how he said, like looking at the camera when he punched those walls.
Yeah.
And he just went, like, he hit one and he went, "Wall 1."
Yeah.
And then he went to the next one, "Wall 2."
But then I was getting more excited. I was slapping Brad.
Yeah,
I
and
was
then he's
tickling
like,
him, pinching his dick.
"Oh, wow. Look what's coming. It's Wall 3." and he knocked it down, and then he pulled back,
Yep.
did the blammo.
Yeah, right.
And then he said, yeah, I'm back.
Then he bit into a banana, peel and all, like in the movie K-Pax.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I was like, all right,
It
so
was
is
really
he is he
weird.
K-Pax?
But he
did
said,
do
my
a-
piss real syrupy. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's from Usual Suspects, but
Yeah.
this is a kid's
Right.
movie.
And then he did a monologue that was like really emotional about how his wife was sexually assaulted vis-a-vis swimming with sharks.
Yep.
He is, I will say, still got the acting chops.
He also did sleep with Mina Savari on screen, which was weird. And he looked at the camera and he went, I don't even like this, which is so strange.
Jealous.
No, he's like, I don't like it.
I
You
know,
that's
but,
not.
but that was
this isn't
jealous.
Even for
I don't
me.
even like this. you know?
This isn't even for me.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
doing this for you,
Yeah, right.
not for her. I hate women.
Yeah.
Right? And it was
It's
so weird.
You know,
Off-putting.
It has a place.
Very off-putting. But
But we'll see how that
we'll
gets
see
resolved.
we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll
part
see
one.
what they
do
Part one.
with
You can't really
the
judge it yet.
Spacey-verse.
You can't
I
really
don't
judge
know.
it yet. Part one.
Part one.
We're half through. This.
Right. Now we got to wait and find out what happens with Spacey in this.
Spaceman.
That's what's beyond the Spider-Verse is the Spacey-verse.
Yeah.
What's he
yeah.
I
Oh,
kn-
no.
I know we've talked a lot about Kevin Spacey in this episode. I hope he does not make an appearance on the podcast.
Oh, he might.
in the future.
You never know. Chuck knows a guy.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
His name's
Is
Kevin
it Kevin
Spacey. Yeah. So fucking happy. Rip this mic out. Woo.
All right, we're going into spoilers.
Into
Here we go.
spoilers.
Thank you for listening. You can tune out now if you don't want to hear spoilers about
We love you.
Spider-Verse. Across the Spider-Verse.
We want nothing but the best for you.
So let's talk about sizzles.
Yeah.
I think the sizzle of a summer movie, for different things, for different movies, it means different things.
Right.
Like to me, in this movie, it was like Donald Glover as the Prowler, like all
Can
that
I just
stuff.
say, like that?
Fucking awesome.
That made me smile so much.
Yep.
So live action Donald Glover
Yeah.
is there. Not Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
But no, as the Prowler who had been caught in another universe.
Yeah, it was in No Way Home.
Yeah.
I mean, it was in Homecoming.
Yeah, he was in that. But what I appreciate the most out of that, the fact that he was in Miles Morales is, for people that are in the know, right? I'm sure most people already know this, but there was a long period of time where people were very vocally pro him being Spider-Man
Right.
in another Spider-Man movie.
Yes.
Yes.
They wanted Donald Glover to be Spider-Man. I get it.
Yeah.
Like
For
back
sure.
then, like Community era,
For sure.
100%.
Yeah, Miles Morales is perfect.
Well, and he would have been a phenomenal Miles Morales. Like Donald Glover embodied. Now that he's older, I think it's changing
Right.
for sure. And Atlanta has kind of changed how we view him,
Right.
The lens that we look at him through. But younger Donald Glover, just I think the age is important just for the character
Right.
match,
Sure,
but
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But I think he is that unique, special thing that not a lot of actors can embody, which is he can be Peter Parker.
Yep.
He could be Miles Morales. And if you put a gun to my head back in like the early 2000s and forced me to recast Back to the Future
Right.
Yeah.
and go, they're making a remake, you have to pick somebody for Marty McFly, it would have been Donald Glover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's a perfect Marty McFly. He embodies this great leading man, but like
Kind of unsure of himself.
Marty is Peter Parker, right? Like
Yeah,
that's the
I
same. Like,
think so.
hey, yeah, and
I think he
yeah,
is, yeah.
yeah, and he just embodies that so well. So people were very vocal about that, and he didn't get it. He was like, I think even the studio was saying maybe Donald Glover. I think this was back when Andrew Garfield Spider-Man was
sure.
being cast, and so he didn't get it, and it was a bummer. Like I think
Right.
a lot of people were ready for it. I was ready for it, and I think Miles might have come around as kind of a reaction to some of that. I genuinely think you'd have to check with the creator of Miles, but
Yeah.
because he's fairly new.
Well, I think Miles is that's the early 2000s Ultimate Spider-Man, I think.
Miles,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he started in like 2001 or 2002 or something.
yeah. So it feels like
Something.
right around that time.
But that got a huge reaction in the theater.
Yeah.
And Chuck was tickling everyone.
Running through the aisles.
Yeah, that appearance.
He's the tickler. That's why he gets so excited, because he's a villain. He's a Spider-Man.
Well, talking about, but the
you can't
sizzle-
hold on to your webs if you're being tickled.
the sizzle stuff. Yeah, so it was. Prowler thing.
Yeah.
There was the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man in the Uncle Ben thing.
Sure,
and
Andrew Garfield.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
The Venom verse, the convenience store
The
woman.
Asian lady. in
Oh,
real
yeah,
life.
when
That
the
was
spot
from
stuck
Venom.
his head
Oh,
through.
see, I didn't know that
Yeah.
because I didn't see that movie.
Yeah.
So basically,
That got another reaction
So here's
in
an
our-
interesting. There's two interesting things that don't have to do with this specific movie that I wanted to bring up. One is that, which is really interesting because Sony owns Spider-Verse,
Yeah.
and Sony owns Venom, so that's why they had her go
Of
into
course.
that.
Yeah.
But here's what's interesting: when they say the canon moments, which I love that they called it that.
I want to get into that in a moment.
We will.
Because that's worth talking about.
Oh, for sure. One of the canon moments is 6 different panels of Spider-Man, like Eddie Brock becoming Venom in different universes.
I didn't know that.
One of them was like under the church, in the church bell tower, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but you
Did
took.
they give poor Topher Grace a little moment there?
well, here's the thing: is like, but you took Spider-Man out of Venom's origin
Yeah.
in the Sony movies, which is
Yeah.
really strange.
Huh,
to-
yeah.
and also have him go to the Venom universe where
Right.
Spider-Man doesn't exist,
Yep.
as far as
Yeah.
we know. But then the other thing I was going to say
see.
is, this is just boding well for one thing in the future I wanted to bring up. I love the animation style. We're obviously going to move past that. The Ninja Turtles animation style, the new movie, looks
Sure.
incredible.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
the only thing I've really seen that's even like this, where it's like it looks like painting and drawing, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Sony made Spider-Verse. I don't know exactly what's like where the turtles are coming from in terms of animation. Obviously, it's Paramount because that's who owns
Right.
Nickelodeon.
Mm-hmm.
But Seth Rogen's all of his movies are with Sony. So
Oh,
I
yeah,
wonder
yeah.
if it's going to be like the same animation house kind of making it, because when I saw the Turtles trailer, I was like, this is like so similar in terms of like, yeah, this animation is going to be super hard to do, but it's going to be
Yeah, I
like,
watched that trailer and I was just like, oh, this is 100% influenced by
Right.
Spider-Verse.
100%. It
Yeah.
looks amazing.
Oh, yeah, it looks great.
I was
It
like,
really
holy
does.
shit.
Yeah.
But the sizzle stuff is like, I do think it is important, especially with the big summer blockbuster stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right about like it. It's just that. It's just the sizzle thing, and it's like, okay, well, you came up with a concept that will allow these moments to happen.
Yeah.
Now,
But it
where
didn't
is the importance?
The point of the movie is not to collect a series of I know that
Right.
moments.
Well, I mean, I don't
they
even
throw
think-
them in, but they don't even get heavy-handed with it.
Yeah.
They're light with it.
I don't
They
even think-
showed amazing like reserve in
Yeah, right.
and not
I think-
putting in more.
I think that the sizzle stuff for me can actually be more than just like cameo stuff. It can also
Sure.
even in Fast and Furious they can do like I was watching a part of Hobbs and Shaw yesterday with my mom, and it was the part where
Chucky, put your pants back on.
all the trucks are in a line and they're all hooked to each other and
Yeah.
they all hit the NOS at
Yeah,
the same
yeah,
time.
yeah.
That's a sizzle moment.
Sure,
It
sure.
doesn't really have to do with the plot, but it's kind of a big fun thing for the audience that gives you like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
serotonin spike of some kind that is not meaningful.
Right.
It's not emotionally
Yeah, yeah.
meaningful. So there's a lot of sizzle across the board when they fucking
Yeah.
come up with a dark saber. That's a sizzle moment.
Right,
to me.
right.
It's not doesn't change the course of the emotionality.
Cool moments.
Yeah, cool
Yeah.
moments. That's what it is. And it's like those are great and they really do build things, but what you need for touching people and staying power and
Yeah.
impact is
Substance.
the storytelling.
Substance.
Yeah, it's the steak.
Yeah. Otherwise, all you're left with is just MSG.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
And that's where I check out, where I'm just like, to me,
know.
that's exactly my complaint with like Ready Player One.
That's exactly it. That's perfect.
I'm like,
100% sizzle.
this is all just Dorito dust.
That's actually,
you know what I mean?
Oh
That's-
my gosh.
Yeah,
I
and
would.
don't get me wrong. I want to roll something in Dorito dust and eat
but
it.
we need the thing.
But you need the thing to roll it in.
No, you
That's a
lick your
perfect-
finger, you rub it around in the Dorito dust, and then
And
you.
in that case, your own finger has become the substance.
you know what
All
I
right,
think?
then, in that case.
So in that case, you fucked yourself, Ready Player One fan.
You just here
I like
for
the book.
future shorthand. I think Ready Player One is the perfect example of all sizzle,
Yeah.
and Across the Spider-Verse is the perfect example of incorporating that and using it to elevate
Yeah.
your story.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right, yeah, absolutely. Oh, I do want to say for a sizzle thing, for a cameo,
Yeah.
this is a very nerdy cameo,
Yeah.
but it's one worth noting. So the newest Spider-Man video games.
Yes, the
I've been playing
Insomniac
Spider-Man
games.
video games forever.
Yeah.
And the Insomniac ones, very excited for the new one to come out, Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
It's tough because there's Spider-Man, which is just called Spider-Man.
Yep.
And then there's
Spider-Man
Spider-Man Miles
Morales.
Morales,
Right.
which is a sequel / like extended DLC,
Yeah.
but still really great and fantastic.
Yeah, it's like 20 hours. Yeah,
I loved it. I
Yeah.
absolutely loved it.
Yep.
So I love those games.
Me too.
So much. They're so enjoyable.
The only one I played was Miles Morales, but I love it.
Yeah.
Traversal feels great.
It is like I could just zip around
Yep.
or thwip around the city
Right.
and just enjoy it.
Oh, I'm
Like,
zipping
I
and
talk
whipping left and right.
like those weird like immeasurables that come with video games, like the haptic feedback, the feeling of the control, the smoothness, like those kinds of things.
I think about this all the time.
For me, it's thwipping,
Yep.
right? Thwipping makes me feel good. They both live in the same city. It could happen. You could have a crossover, right?
true.
Yeah, you could. Hey, Genki, there's a giant marshmallow, right? What are you? Shoot it with your webs.
Yeah.
The webs are just going in. They stick. He sticks. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so I love those video games so much. Oh, that's what I was saying. Like that feeling, right?
Yeah.
Is thwipping through the city because thwipping makes me feel good.
Yep.
But also, it's the hammer in God of War.
Yeah, you
when
said
you
that.
throw it and retrieve it.
Yeah.
That retrieval mechanic in the game and the feeling that you get in the controller, like all of it is at the perfect level.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
it's just so satisfying to
Yeah.
do it. And I love those games. So those games are fun.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the next one.
The Leviathan axe.
Yes, thank
Yeah.
you. I clocked earlier in the movie when Miles shows up at his room at Visions Academy,
Right.
and his roommate Genki is playing a video game.
Yes.
And I clocked it. I look over. I'm like, he's playing Spider-Man.
Right.
He's playing the
is he?
Insomniac
the
game.
Insomniac and Spider-Man because it's a Sony game,
Right.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so I look at Finn, my son, and I'm like, he's playing the Spider-Man game. He's playing it.
Yeah.
Finn hasn't played the game,
Right.
Yeah.
but he has watched me play some of it because
Right.
he's enamored by
Yeah.
what's there because it's that good. You could
Yeah.
just I'll watch you thwip.
Yeah.
I'll thwip by proxy.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna thwip. What? You can't say that?
Yeah, you can.
You can't say that when you're in a you're making love kind of situation.
yeah.
You can't be like, I'm gonna thwip.
That's what I always say.
Where do you want me to thwip?
Yeah. My tit.
Thwip on my face?
You said my tits? Is that what you said?
Wait, I wasn't asking you where you would want me to thwip.
Weird.
Oh man, that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be late at night. You're like, you're gonna pick. Hello, it's Brad, right? And it's just me or Chuck, right? Going, I'm gonna thwip. Where do you want me to do it? What? Where do you want me to thwip? I'm gonna thwip. Hurry up! Say a thing. And you're like, feet. And you're like, what? Feet? Oh,
Man,
and then it's dead quiet. And then Brad goes, hello? And then you hear, yeah, I did it.
It's from a distance. It's
Yeah,
from
I thwipped.
I love a guy saying tits. Like one time I remember I opened my shirt. What? Well, I said my tits. And he
I
said,
know.
One time I remember I sneezed into my shirt. Oh, I sneezed all over my tits.
That is funny. I like it. So to finish that phone call bit, right?
Yes.
Is it is dead quiet. You go hello. Then you hear from a distance, right? Yeah, I thwipped. Right? I thwipped. And then it's quiet for another beat, and then you hear from the distance either me or Chuck going, you're gonna have to hang up. Stop listening now. Stop listening.
That's funny.
But so we see him playing the video game.
Right.
I geek out at that.
Yep.
I'm elbowing the shit out of my kid.
Yeah.
Look at that motherfucker up
It's the
there.
same.
You
It's
know?
the same.
I'm punching him
We're
in the
looking
side
in
of
the
the
mirror.
head. Yeah. So wait, what?
I'm Finn. Yeah.
So
I can't sleep because I'm too excited about a dog.
yeah. Your dad has to be the center of attention all the time.
Where my teeth fell out too, and I'm like, oh Jesus.
You're looking in your wallet. You're like, oh shit.
Teeth fell out.
Trying to sneak that dollar bill under. Yeah. Oh, I thought he was going to wake up. It was just a wet dream. Thank God. Oh, it was just a wet dream.
Damp at best.
It was a damp dream. This is very fun. I had a dry dream.
Most of my dreams are dry.
I had a dry dream. It's so good.
I don't want to wear the diaper anymore.
This is fun. We should just stop doing like a podcast with content in it. We should just do like us coming up with scenes, which is just so much fun, right?
It would be called And Scene. That's really
You know what it'd be
good.
called? All sizzle. There's no substance. It's just
You know
bits.
what? If you want all sizzle, subscribe to our Matreon.
It's all behind the Maywall. But then we see another scene when we see a lot of Spiderman all together, and they have.
the
my
Insomniac
eyes
Spider-Man.
were like, "Where's the suit? Where's the suit?
Yeah.
the Insomniac suit.
The white spider suit. Yep.
It's there.
Yep.
And they also had the voice actor from the video games
Yep.
do the voice for that Spider-Man. And as somebody who loves those games, I was just like, yeah, that's him. You know, that's.
I
really
feel
cool.
like the word in like there was a news ticker or something, and there was something about Insomniac on one of the screens, but I do not remember which one because I was too enamored with the billboard that said soda. It's a generic brand.
Yes.
And I was
so
like,
good.
that is a joke written that feels like it was written for me.
Yeah, that's a great
and,
joke.
You know, I think about Lord and Miller and their creation of Clone High and how much
And 21 and 22 Jump Street.
yeah, how much of their sense of humor, or how my sense of humor is influenced by their sense of humor, and that specific billboard.
Yeah.
Ugh.
No, yeah, that's a great build.
Lord and Miller are just absolutely killer. It's crazy. And it's funny because I was thinking about them. Like, what else did they do? Because, like, I love Clone High, and I haven't seen the new one that just started last week. I love 21 and 22 Jump Street. I love Spider-Verse. I believe they did either the Lego movie or the Lego Batman movie, which I also loved.
I think it was the first Lego movie.
First Lego
First
movie.
Lego movie, yeah.
Love everything they do across
Yeah.
the board, even though
Yeah.
think about how different those audiences are.
Sure.
And I was like,
And
what-
the fact that they got shit canned from Solo.
I was just gonna
is
say.
insane.
It makes well. Here's what the thing. It makes so much sense. You know why? Because look what they did with Spider-Man,
yeah.
and think about how tight the reins would have to be on Star Wars.
Oh, of course,
Yeah.
of
And
course.
so it means you can't really
Yeah,
get
yeah,
that
yeah.
imaginative.
Yeah,
Same
no,
reason
no
probably
creative.
that Edgar Wright wasn't able to really
That's
do what he wanted to do. with
Anybody that
Ant-Man.
has like a really, really creative,
Yeah.
any director who is actually speaking through film language.
Right.
Sorry,
That's all
I
right.
said the language of film, and now I
Well,
really feel bad.
I really think it depends on what you're trying to do, because someone like Ryan Coogler, they probably were really aligned.
Coog?
The Coog.
Yep.
They were probably really aligned with his vision for Black Panther.
Yeah.
So that's one
no,
thing.
That's
like a
yeah, that's
different
something
thing.
else.
It's
too.
almost
It's
like different
I'm excited
thing.
for
Yeah.
Trolls 3 directed by Quentin Tarantino.
Well, I was gonna say that's why, like, Tarantino has said forever, I want to make a Star Trek movie.
Yeah.
And they just won't let him fucking
course,
do it.
of course, 'cause he's
And that's why Seth MacFarlane wanted to make a Star Trek show.
Yep.
They wouldn't let him do it.
Right.
So
he had
he
to make
made
his own show.
Yeah, he made the
Orville.
Orville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which the last season they did, I liked it.
I'm
it
sure-
was close to. It felt like Star Trek: The Next Generation.
I'm a big Seth MacFarlane supporter. I think it's really tough to make something like Family Guy be awesome after 15 years or 20 years or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But like,
You know-
I appreciate A Million Ways to Die in the West a ton. I appreciate it a ton.
You want a fun scoop?
Yeah.
A fun little Hollywood exclusive?
Yeah, give me exclusive.
I was doing a weekend of shows at a comedy club that was
Yeah.
in a casino.
Okay.
Because casinos have comedy clubs.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know why. But anyway, I was doing a weekend there, and it was one of the nights, and there was also a Comic-Con taking place inside the casino. This is a
right.
very big casino.
Yeah.
And so the Comic-Con is happening, and so I spend my weekend kind of navigating through people that are leaving the like expo center part of it,
Right.
and being just in the place,
Right.
and just seeing like, you know, Robin in different
Yeah.
levels of quality, and,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
a million Harley Quinns and stuff like that. But so I was outside one of the nights after shows, and I was having a cheeky little cigarette, and it was the smoking area.
Okay.
And I look over and I'm like, wait a minute. And it took me so long. I didn't want to be obvious about it, but I finally realized, I'm like, oh, that's two people from Orville.
Oh,
right?
cool.
That's two actors. It's an actor and an actress from the Orville. And so I'm like, oh, okay. And I can tell their conversation is like energetic. They're talking about something that's really clicking.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, and I have headphones on because I'm like listening to a podcast
Right.
or I'm listening to my set to see, what I want to keep and stuff. None of it. Oh, no.
Yeah.
And so I stop listening to what I'm listening to and I start listening to the world around me.
Good thinking.
Right? I do a little bit of dropping some eaves.
Yeah, drop those eaves.
And I hear them talking shit
About Seth MacFarlane?
about either Seth or someone very much in the same role on the
Yeah.
show.
Right.
I can't say it was definitely Seth, but they were talking so much shit, not in like a horrible way, but like stuff like essentially, I wish the problems in their personal life weren't leaking through onto the set.
okay.
And I was like, oh, I'm hearing some shit right
that's
now.
fun.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
and it
that's
was just
fun.
because I happened to accidentally sit down too close to them having their conversation,
right.
thinking like, whatever. I
Yeah.
have headphones in. I'm doing my thing.
Yeah.
They can see that I'm not listening to them.
Yep.
And then having it slowly dawn on me and go,
Yeah, that's funny.
yeah. So, that's
great.
a little Hollywood exclusive. Somebody's having some trouble, I guess,
That's fun.
somewhere.
I don't want to go through the whole movie beat by beat, but
I thought that's what we were doing. You said at 2 hours and 17 minutes
Oh,
in,
smokes.
we would start doing beat by beat.
Well, I just want to say, like, the opening idea of that old school, like, Renaissance vulture
so
coming
great.
through
Yep.
Yeah.
is the best, is such a perfect way to take what they're doing as a whole and say, hey, audience, here's what we're doing. We're taking all these characters that can really be completely, not cohesive with each other and not
Yeah.
fitting, and we're going to bring them in together. It was such a great demonstration of that. It was so perfect. Voiced by Yorma
Yep.
from Lonely Island, the
Yeah,
vulture.
yeah.
But I was like, what an amazing way to they had to show Spider-Gwen fighting alongside her dad, kind of,
Right.
and demonstrate that they're going to deal with this threat and bring in the other Spider-Man, stuff like that. I was like, this is
And
fucking-
bring in different art styles.
exactly.
Yeah.
It was exactly. That's kind of what I mean in terms of personifying it. It was such a perfect, fun way to do it, fun way to play with the world of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I loved it so much.
And I wanted to point out the idea of the canon moments.
Right.
That is what I mean by like, it's a multiverse with that's way more cohesive and way more clear because of things like canonical moments.
Right.
And bringing it up and labeling it as canon, I love that
it was
idea.
amazing.
But it's so clever to be like, it's not just a multiverse of like, look, it's these all these different versions. Wouldn't it be cool if the costume was different?
Yeah.
And that's basically what all of these things are just different costumes. That's the empty version. The version with substance is going, okay, but what would be like connective tissue?
Yes, exactly.
And go, oh, it's big moments.
Yeah.
They share these big moments, like
Yes.
Uncle Ben dying, or for Gwen, it's Peter dying, or for Miles, it's his uncle dying, like his uncle, all this stuff. And saying, oh, these are the moments that are the connective tissue throughout all of these different versions.
Right.
They're the thread
Yes.
through.
Yes.
Those are canon moments. Like,
Yeah.
I love
Amazing.
it.
I
It
was-
gives you an exact idea of what this is
Right.
and where convergences can be and what things keep them in common and what keeps them understanding each other. Right?
I loved it. And when they brought it up, I was like, this is brilliant. And for it to become the conflict of the story.
Yes.
Is
Right.
so elevated.
And
in
that's
terms
what
of-
it's so beautiful. Is like you lay that groundwork.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by like this one movie
Yeah.
laid out that idea for this multiverse that like Marvel, the MCU, hasn't gotten even close to. Here's an interesting rub with a multiverse, right? Like here's this thing.
I will say the Spider-Man talk on the roof, which was like Tom Holland is like, oh, like Aunt May just died in this thing. and Tobey Maguire saying like,
Yeah.
the same thing happened
No,
to me.
that's great.
Yeah.
That's kind of
that's
like
a good character moment
that's
within.
the seed of that same kind of idea.
Yes, but it's a moment for those characters within this
Bond.
universe thing.
It's not the driving force of the plot.
In the multiverse thing that happens,
Yes.
they don't talk about like multiverse rules. There's
Yeah.
shit that happens in that movie, as much as I like it, that is just like you shrug and go, I guess that's like something that can happen.
Right.
You know? With this, it was like, okay, we know multiverse.
Yeah.
We know that's happening. We just spent one whole movie dealing with it.
Yeah.
What's something we can do here that would pull out a conflict, that would create a juxtaposition for the characters and what they want? You know what I mean? And like stuff like that is so great. And to make it as simple as saving
His own father.
your father. Yeah, sorry, I was hesitating for spoilers, even though we're in that territory
Yeah.
already. But that is at its core what Spider-Man is,
Yeah.
right? Like I think there was in something else Spider-Man. I'm sure it's been in multiple things. Maybe it was one of the comics I read. He was talking about like, you know, the big picture of like all these people being saved. Of course, you want to save all of them, blah, blah, blah. But you cannot stand by and do nothing for one person.
Right.
You have to save the one person.
Yep.
Oh.
And it's like, that's Spider-Man.
Yep.
That's his whole thing. And I love that that's going to be the driving force for Miles of like, no, save the one person.
Yeah.
One of the things I love that was very similar to this whole thing was when they're in Moonbatten, which first of all, the design of that Spider-Man is incredible. The whole world was awesome.
Oh, and thank you for not being lazy and just giving it to Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean? I like as soon as I saw him, when I heard his voice, I was actually surprised that it wasn't Kumail Nanjiani.
Right.
Now, granted, it also went to the guy who gets all the roles that isn't Kumail Nanjiani.
Right.
I can't remember his name. He's the taxi driver in Deadpool.
Yes, he is. Yeah, I knew
Yeah.
that.
He's
I
very
was-
funny, and I'm a fan of his work. I like him.
I was hoping it was going to be Hank Azaria doing a Pooh's voice.
Yeah. Straight up a poo the whole way.
So I loved that whole sequence. I thought it was super funny. The jokes were great. But then when they kind of lean in on that moment where the guy's going to die and he has the kid and Miles goes to save them and you know, Gwen is like, no, it's too dangerous. And he saves him anyway. And to the audience, it reads as, oh, he saved them. This is going to be the moment where the spider, like the society says like, wow, he's great. We're going to accept him into the society.
Yeah.
But it actually represents like even more of the fact that he's the anomaly and he got in the way of another thing and he's ruining another thing. It was such an amazing juxtaposition on what your expectations were for that. And then for it to explain all the canon moments and stuff, for that to become the crux is, I was flipping out. And what was crazy too to me, we were watching the movie and like, I don't know if you felt it, but I was like, okay, as he's trying to escape that future and everything, and he says, no, I'm going to do my own thing, and he goes to leave, I was like, okay, well, I knew it was a part one. I'm like, this is where he's gonna get out, and that's it. But he gets out, and then it's the whole thing where like Gwen goes to go find him, and she goes to his room, and like you're seeing him go to his like world.
That reveal
Wasn't
was phenomenal.
Wasn't it insane?
Yeah.
You're like, because like I didn't expect that, but like the best moments when the rug is pulled out from under you in a movie or TV show, for him to go, it sent me to the wrong universe because I got bit by a spider from the wrong universe.
Yeah. You're like, oh, aha, of course.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. And then he goes on the roof and you see the city is all fucked up because there's no Spider-Man there to help. That's amazing.
Yep.
And then
I like that it was a double reveal in that moment where it's like, holy shit, your uncle is alive,
Yep.
which
Yep.
means you're in a different universe. And then as soon as we're like, wow, okay, that's really cool. That's wonderful. What a rug pull. I love
Yep.
it. That's when he throws the gauntlet and he's like, I'm not the Prowler.
Right.
And as soon as he does it, this is the beauty of like Lord Miller doing this. Is what you want the movie to be 1 second ahead of the audience.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
right.
it. Just 1 second.
Yes.
And when he threw the gauntlet, that's when I went, oh, Miles.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Because
believe
if he's not in his own universe, where is this Miles? Because we don't even get a moment to process that idea. We
Right.
don't have time to go, wait, if he's in this universe, there should be another Miles.
You're right.
We don't have time for that.
Right.
So we get that amazing reveal that he's the Prowler in that universe.
It was like boom, boom,
So
boom.
good.
Because it was he's in the wrong universe, which means Gwen's at his house.
Yeah.
And it's empty, and you're finding that out. That's why the mom doesn't know that's who Spider-Man is. Then the uncle's alive. Then you find the city's fucked up. Then you find out his dad is dead. Then he gets captured, and you're like, oh, the uncle's the Prowler. Then you find out he's not the. It's like
yeah, and then the spot is showing up.
Yeah,
it was to orchestrate all those things to be told so quickly and to make so much sense, but still continue to surprise everybody.
Yeah,
is such a magic trick that is so difficult to do.
And big shout out to the music and the score.
Yeah,
because the composition in this and in the first movie, like so fucking good. The music
so good
that they use, like not only the tracks that they pull, but like actual composed music.
Yes,
that theme that they're pulling in for Miles is incredible. And it's extremely emotional. Like the music that they have in this, the score, I should say, the score that they have in both of these Spider-Verse movies is so powerful.
Yeah.
They can get me.
Yeah, me
like,
too.
Just immediately, you know.
too.
I loved Miguel, the Oscar Isaac Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Spider-Man 2099.
When he was going on his tirade at Miles, just screaming at him and kind of countering all the things that Miles's parents had told him earlier in the film.
Yes.
I'm like, well, they're setting him up to be the villain of the next movie, not realizing that we still have the Spot to deal with, and we're still going to have, telling his parents to deal with, and now we have the Prowler to deal with, and I'm like, man, this is like the idea of Spider-Man 3, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3, and they're like, now there are 3 villains or 3 antagonists, and I'm like, this is doing so much better than that.
How good was like the idea that at the beginning the Spot is this like bumbling dumb thing?
Sure, yeah.
And you're like the villain of the week, and Spider-Man calls it out. You're like, yeah, this is great. This is how it opens, and then he actually does become this monstrous threat.
Yeah.
And even the art style of his continuing to move forward through the movie, where it's just
changing.
the pencils and all this stuff like that
Yeah.
with him and them seeing it together. All of that was amazing. I loved the Miguel stuff. I love the stuff with Spider-Man 2099 becoming the bad guy. And the thing with the mom.
And the idea of like, we're the good guys, and him doubling down and saying, we are the good guys.
Yeah.
And like, that's why we're doing this. And it's the trolley problem of this one person who is important to you versus, a nearly infinite number of people whom you don't know.
I have a feeling we will see. Miguel has
of course
taken his thing too far and needs to answer for
well,
that.
we'll get there because I do want to talk about where do we think this can go. But
I don't know what they're doing with Kevin Spacey. I honestly don't know what that's about.
I was going to say the mom's speech about him going to college.
Yeah.
And how you really do feel in the moment. I mean, maybe I'm just stupid. In the moment, I really believed that was going to be something that had more to do with his personal life and not necessarily pay into the payoff with Spider-Man 2099 as much as it did.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to translate as much. I loved that so much. And it was just, I loved comedically Andy Samberg as Ben Reilly. Spider-Man was fucking
very
like,
fun.
There's something wrong. He's like, this wall seems fine. This wall seems fine. All that stuff was excellent.
Yep.
Taron Killam was the Cowboy Spider-Man.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Which was killer.
Yep.
But
why does the horse need a mask? It's a great question.
killer. But yes, no, so my question is like at the end of this movie, essentially what they set up is that for every universe to work and every Spider-Man to work and for the universe to not kind of collapse, they need his dad to die to like cause him to become, the true Spider-Man, whatever. And also he got bit by the spider from another universe. So there's no Spider-Man in that universe. And he's already, so that kind of establishes you're already causing problems. And now your dad needs to die and you can't save him. And that's where we leave off in this movie. So like, what do you think is going to happen? Like, how are they going to resolve this story?
It's tough because like if you're pulling from known things, which kind of stinks because you can pull from like the comics and say like, well, he doesn't end up with Gwen. He ends up with the girl that was using her Spider-Man as like an avatar.
Yeah.
They have like a moment. They kind of look at each other like, hey, how you doing? Like that kind of happens in the movie.
Yeah.
And if that's where you want to go, like
Well,
dad dies.
I was gonna say
right?
though, but Miguel is saying basically like this has to happen,
Yeah.
or the universe is gonna collapse.
Right. That's what he assumes.
That's what I think too.
And
I think it's
also-
gonna go that direction.
the tricky part is like, yeah, his dad's the captain, but the captain in the other universes that we know of
Is
Right.
Gwen's dad.
Gwen's dad,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And his father's not Gwen's dad,
Right.
That's what I'm
If,
wondering.
if so, that would be weird.
That's what I'm wondering
because
for some reason
Spider sex.
Because for some of the stories, it seems like Uncle Ben is the character that needs to die.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he did already go through his uncle dying,
Right.
Which to me was the same thing.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's gonna count.
Yeah,
know what I
I don't
mean?
know.
I in my mind, it's going to be resolved that he's able to save his dad and not destroy the universe because he wasn't supposed to be Spider-Man. And
That's what I'm wondering.
that's
Yeah, yeah.
the logic of how I hope that I don't want this animated character to die,
Yeah,
and I don't want this animated universe to be destroyed.
yeah.
We know
What is Funbearable like in Miles's world? Do we have a podcast?
Wow.
Are we spiders?
How's their Matreon doing?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably great.
Yeah, probably.
Probably fucking awesome.
Yeah. Well, in like the terrible world, their Matreon is killing it.
Oh yeah. They've
So-
got so much money.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that the problems they're
This episode's brought to you by the Growler again.
Yes.
He's like the Prowler, but he's worse.
I think
the Growler.
I think they're
Isn't
gonna
that a name
say.
for a toilet.
I think Miguel.
I believe that is I'm sorry,
A growler?
I think a growler can also be a turlet.
Really?
I think of a growler as a
Because
beer,
it's
a beer
the juggy thing, yeah. But
yeah.
I think I've heard growler for turlet.
All right.
Funbearablepod at gmail.com.
Maybe
Let us
you've
know.
just growled at your toilet, and that's what you're thinking of.
Yeah. I do wear that gauntlet when I poop.
It sounds like a growl, but it's just me pushing things out.
It's more of a moan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and I think I hear my prediction. I'm sorry. Spoiler within spoiler. My wife gets mad whenever I go, here's what my prediction for the thing is, because it's usually right. And she's like, you fucking ruined it. Whatever. But my prediction is when it comes to Miles Prowler, that he's going to, our Miles will talk to him. And as soon as he knows that his father is in trouble, even though it's a different universe,
Yeah.
I think deep down, Miles Prowler is going to know, like, I have to save
Yeah.
it's not my dad, but I'll save him.
That's-
and he's going to say something like, I couldn't stop my dad from being killed because of this, and this is why I became this, so I could
Right.
I would have that power, and I'm going to use it for this. You know what I mean? I think that's probably
think
what
that
will happen.
the problems they're going to have to overcome are going to be proving that the universe won't collapse,
Right?
fixing that other universe that the spider is from.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And
then-
Kevin Spacey. What are they doing with Spacey?
Well, I think Miguel has to be, if not the main, because
Yeah.
he's more of a bad guy, I think, than the new Prowler, the Miles Prowler,
Sure.
or the Spot. The Spot seems
So
a little.
far.
The Spot seems a little bit like dumb. Like he's not like not like I want to kill everybody. I want to take over the world. He's just like I want to become more powerful.
Yeah.
But Miguel is like you have to let your dad die.
Do you think Miguel is going to save the dad?
That's possible.
I could see it happening where he sacrifices himself. I think ultimately, if they go the route of he has turned because of he's taken his thing too seriously.
Right.
Oh no, look what I've become.
Legitimate
Yes.
longing's gone astray. Yep.
Right. If they do that, and he doesn't straight up die,
Yep.
I think he ultimately has to sacrifice himself.
Yeah.
I think that's the contract that we're under. That's the transaction that we've made here. If you like a character but they go bad, if they become good in the end, depending on what they've done,
Right.
Yeah.
they have to atone for it, right? Like I'll watch like another movie or a TV show or something where there's a character that you love that was bad, and then they become good, and it's like, oh no, I like that character and I like them doing this thing. I'm like, yeah, but like the deal here is he has to die.
Yeah.
He has to sacrifice himself.
You know what? I'm going to say Miguel sacrifices himself to save the dad, dies, and the pregnant motorcycle spider lady becomes the new head of the spider detective
yeah.
agency.
I'll say I think probably what's going to happen is something will have to happen with the Spot that proves that the Miguel's multiverse theory about how it's going to collapse on itself has to be proven wrong. Where he's going to say, if this happens, this is going to collapse or something, and then that's going to happen. The spot thing is going to be defeated. It's not going to collapse. He's going to realize he's wrong. They're going to have to save the dad, and then maybe Miguel will have to sacrifice himself. That's my guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, if the story,
or Miguel goes so nuts with power and stuff, and
just
then
becomes the bad guy.
He does a thing that ultimately is his undoing. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
that's usually the tropes of this kind of character arc, which is a bummer to hear because it kind of tells you a rough idea of where they're headed.
Right.
Well, what's interesting is
that's fine. But I don't know where Kevin Spacey's going.
I was gonna say post credits, Spider Spacey.
so Spaceman. Well, I already did that.
Yeah. I'm Spider-Man.
How do you like that?
Spider-Man.
Well, what I was going to say is it's
Does
interesting
whatever a spider
because we're so thrilled with them calling out the moments, calling them the canon thing, taking that and making it the crux and creating the who do you save, the universe or your dad.
Yeah.
We're so thrilled with that. I just have a little bit of worry, even though I trust them, that I don't know how you pay that off, but keep all of the structure that they built intact.
Yeah, that's tough.
I'm not saying it's impossible.
Yeah.
It just seems really tough.
I mean, if they're like a police captain that's close to Spider-Man has to die.
If they just find another one and sacrifice him.
He's crucified. You're captain. He's like, me? And then his head explodes. Right? That's all they have to do.
He's like,
you.
Spider-Man.
Cool.
I think the idea of Miguel playing that role as, you know, that somebody in charge of police, Spider Police, dying, I think that fulfills the somebody has to die.
He's the chief.
Yeah.
He's saying
like he's
Miguel
the
is
captain.
Miguel is the
Miguel's
captain that dies for
to save.
That's
Jefferson.
interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't think about that, but that's a great twist on
I
that.
like that.
Good job. Give it up for Brad. Can we give it up for Brad, ladies and gentlemen?
Thank you. I need more applause in my
I
life.
throw a rose.
Thorn in my eye.
Again, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I can think of
I'm excited to
hero's
see
journey, character arcs, and things like that, climbing the mountain, coming back full circle. I just don't know how Spacey enters into that whole thing.
Yeah.
Can I tell you a really dumb?
Well, yeah, maybe it's Spacey's story the whole time.
Can I really tell you? Can I tell you a dumb kind of touching thing?
Yeah.
So my mom can't.
Oh, is this about Spacey?
No, my mom can't.
A
Really,
dumb touching thing?
my mom can't really see right now because she has like wicked bad cataracts.
Oh, I thought you had like a blindfold on her.
She can. Like, she seriously goes like this. Like when she reads her text, she goes.
Yeah.
She goes like this. She goes, and she has to like see around her.
Yeah.
Walking. I don't know. I don't know exactly what it's like, but
Yeah.
and she loves movies, and she loves going to see movies with us and seeing that she loves all the Marvel stuff. Like my parents are like, why haven't we watching the Fast and Furious? You know, they're just into it. And my mom has an eye appointment on June 24th where they're doing the cataract surgery. And she's like, after that, I can see again and we can go see these movies. And she's so excited.
That's lovely.
And I'm like, fuck. Like after we got out, I'm like, I'm going to go see this and Guardians with my mom.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited for it.
I love that.
Yeah, it's going to be
I love
awesome. And she's going to be like I'm going to call her tonight because I'm going to drive back to New York and I'm going to tell her all about Spider-Verse because I didn't yet. And she's going to flip.
She's gonna love the big reveal there.
She
Because
loves
she
Spacey.
has.
She
I
loves
was gonna say
Spacey.
she has a MSGA shirt.
Yeah.
Make Spacey great again.
Yeah.
It's weird too because
It's
she
weird.
also
has massa shirts.
Yeah.
Well, she
Make
also-
America Spacey again.
She also loves MSG, and she has the MSG shirt.
Yeah.
And it's like the same font and color.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
So she has, you
Listen,
know
your
what?
mom's great.
She likes what she likes.
She's made two huge mistakes in her life, as far as I'm concerned. The Spacey thing, and then one other one.
What?
Long-lasting effect in both cases.
So far.
But no,
39 years.
the movie was fantastic.
Too good.
And I can't believe we made it this long. It's so funny. We originally came in today like, let's do 2 episodes. And then we were like, you know what? The George Lucas guest that we totally had, that's so good. And the Spider-Man talk that we want to have, that's an episode. We'll just put them together. It's fine.
Oh,
and
I
then
know.
we did well over 2 episodes.
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
for us, 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So it's good. You get a twofer.
No, it's good. I think doing a short one, a long one, a short one, a long is fun.
Yeah.
That's why
what
this
you say
works.
when you go to that.
Short one, long one, short one.
You finish the joke.
I think that's the joke.
That's our new segment. You finish the joke, right? It just comes up. But no, this was a lot of fun. I'm glad that we got to do this. This was a lot of this was a very pop culture heavy kind of man boy nerd topics. I think
I like the idea of really listening to people who care about storytelling and this kind of stuff talk about it. So I'm glad we did this. And I was actually really excited to go into Spider-Verse knowing that you felt strongly about it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is going to be so much fun for all of us to talk about. Like when we were in the theater, we were flipping out. It was great.
It's so weird though. It's like I loved it, but there's still this thing of me, and I don't mean this as a knock against the new movie in any way.
Yeah.
But the first movie, you can't touch it. Like it's just if Across the Spider-Verse is impossibly high on the quality and greatness scale, then Into the Spider-Verse is somehow like one notch above it. And it's only because it tells one cohesive full story.
Right.
It's complete. And it's tough because the new two-parters, they couldn't exist without the first one.
Right.
And the first one has time to kind of lay out just the rough idea versus diving full whole hog.
That's the responsibility of
They're so
creating
different.
the world. That's the difference.
But it is impossible to me to compare to the moment when in the first movie, Miles accepts it. His hero's journey has come full circle. He is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And the fucking score when that happens and his jump off of the impossibly high building and going upside down, it's so you know what I mean? It's so good and so emotional.
Yep.
It's hitting on all cylinders.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so hard to be and also this is as good as that.
Yeah.
And it's well, we don't have to, when it comes to, they're both fucking great.
Right.
Yeah.
And we don't have to go like this. You know what I mean?
I feel the same way about Back to the Future 2 because the Back to the Future 2 mechanics of not disturbing him already going back is so amazing.
Yeah, but it can't exist without the first movie.
But it's this just two different burdens. That's how I feel. The movies.
That's what we were going to call this podcast.
Two different burdens. Yeah, and it was from Brad's perspective.
Yeah, and it's just Brad. Yeah, and
I don't want to be here.
just a real put upon
It's
face.
rock in a hard place, and it's Brad's face in between.
Mushed. It's mush.
I don't want to go much longer. But man, Spider-Punk.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
I said it to Brad afterwards. I'm like, I know it's ironic, and I posted it to say I like Spider-Punk before it was cool because it's such a funny thing. But the original Spider-Punk stuff, the comic book stuff, is so awesome. The art style is amazing. It's very different than this. There's all the dogs are symbiote dogs. It's so cool. But in this, the newspaper tears, the way that the colors change, the way that the ink was running on his face and it wasn't perfectly done. I was like,
it was like a zine.
it was the whole thing was the whole movie, and I never feel like this. It was overwhelming in terms of visual style.
Oh, this is for sure. I cannot wait to see it again.
Me too.
Because there's so much to take in.
It was insane. I was like especially when they were fighting in the future, and it was all the Spider-Man, everyone working together.
But I will say really quickly on that note, for part of our review kind of thing, we should have said it earlier. Go see it in the movie theater.
Yeah.
This is definitely one of those see it in the theater movies.
Yeah, and
for sure.
not I think people sometimes are like, this movie's really meant to be, but this movie, holy fuck.
Yeah, it's just it's such a
be enveloped
visual
in it.
and it's an audio visual experience to do that.
Absolutely.
I really do believe that with this movie.
For sure. I love Spider-Punk. I loved his voice. I loved the character.
You know what? That drove me crazy. I was watching the movie and I'm hearing Spider-Punk talk and I'm like, I know that voice.
Who is it? I don't know who it is.
I know who it is. Why can't I pin it down?
It's not John Boyega.
No. And it was driving me crazy. And finally, in the credits, I saw the name and immediately knew that it was him. It was Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah.
I love Daniel Kaluuya so much.
From Get Out?
Yeah.
Oh, he's
And
killer.
Nope.
Yeah.
And Nope. Yeah.
Yeah,
And Black Panther.
Sure, and Black Panther, yeah.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite episodes of Black Mirror.
Yeah, he's amazing.
He was in a ton of stuff like early on in the UK because he's British,
Right.
Yeah.
And he's using his regular accent in the movie.
so fucking
That's
cool.
what threw me off. I'm used to hearing his accent when he does like UK stuff,
Right.
but not US stuff. So it just didn't connect with me.
It was so
and it was
good.
one of those, of course, because I love Kaluuya. Like I think he's one of the best actors acting. I am a huge fan of him.
Right.
Yeah.
And have been for a long time. Like pre him being in Marvel shit and even like people, I think most people know him from Get Out, and that's when they were introduced to him.
Right.
But when I was watching Get Out, I'm like, oh, it's fucking Daniel Kaluuya. Like I was excited about that. So yeah, crazy, great performance.
I
really
loved
fun.
I loved like that he kind of started out as a joke where he's like, I hate comedy.
Yeah,
and
I
all
don't
that
believe
stuff.
in comedy. Yeah.
And, and then when he actually left and dropped his thing,
Yeah.
and then she took it and it became I fucking loved that. And one thing I love that's really weird, it's just a human element to this, is that Miles is in love with Gwen and she has some sort of thing with him, and she's talking about how she's been hanging out with Spider-Punk, and she's like, yeah, I stay over in that universe sometimes. And he's like, what do you mean? Like you sleep over? And then she has his sweater, and we still walk away from this movie not knowing if they're linked in that way.
Sure, yeah.
Romantically linked.
Right.
She goes like, she says to him when she's sitting with him, she's like, you know, you're the first friend I've made since Peter Parker died.
Right.
And he says, well, what about the Spider-Punk guy? And she says, it's different. But we still don't know.
Right.
And I relate so much to Miles, like liking a girl and being like, what is the relationship with that? It was just so
Right.
perfectly in the air, just hanging.
Yeah.
And also the fact that the guy's awesome.
Yeah.
That's the tough one.
Sure, yeah.
But every moment that Spider-Punk was on screen, I was like, this animation is just, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Now I do have one question, and I don't know if they answered it in the movies. In the first, maybe they answered it in the first. That would have been when the question came up. Where is this universe? Like Miles's universe is Gwen.
Right.
Is she dead or is she alive?
Well, that's the thing is they have in all these different iterations of Spider-Man, not every character exists. Like Gwen Stacy, Mary Jane, all these different characters. There's not always an
But in Miles's universe,
I don't think there ever was one. I think they just
Spider-Man
never-
exists and Mary Jane exists.
right. I don't think they brought up a Gwen in his universe, right?
Right.
I don't think so.
I just wonder if there was ever a line like, oh yeah, they don't exist in this
Like,
universe.
where's my
Right.
Gwen or like
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
I know.
That
I
is
don't
a
know.
question, right?
I don't know. I bet there's tons of people talking about it already. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
because I mean, she wouldn't be Spider-Gwen
Right.
in that universe. She would just be
Gwen.
regular Gwen Stacy.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. She's not Spider-Gwen in these movies, right? She's Spider-Woman. Is that right?
Well,
Because
she's
she
not.
can't be Gwen.
No, she's not Spider-Gwen like publicly,
Right.
because
that's who we know
Yeah,
her
yeah,
as
yeah,
because
yeah.
of the character.
right.
And I
that
love
would be
that-
you'd be a bad superhero
Yeah.
if you were like, I'm Spider Ray, but I'm definitely not Ray Harrington. I just happen to be a morbidly obese Spider-Man. All right, who goes by the name Spider Ray, or Mr. Harrington if you don't know me
Or
well
Mr.
enough.
Spider
Wait,
Harrington.
shit. Oh no.
Yeah, I guess. Well, that's one of the things that I'm wondering that they'll play on.
Yeah.
because not every universe has a what's it called, Miles Morales. Like
Right.
that's the thing.
Sure,
is like
yeah.
I don't know how much they're
Right.
doing this kind
Yeah.
of stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll visit it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's fine.
And you know what? Not every universe has a Brad Roar because he is one of a kind.
Well,
He's
even
unique.
even Miguel. Like we don't know. There's no Peter Parker. We don't know what that is. I mean, maybe
Well,
is
he's from the future.
Right.
that's the thing is like the what's it called? Like he is he Peter Parker in that future? I think
Right,
he
right,
is.
right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Like Miles Morales has a Peter Parker, but I don't think that means that there's always a Peter Parker.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
Sorry,
know
I was
either.
trying to do a nice compliment.
Yeah.
and then you would say that we could go home.
I'd like to go home.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I improv practice, but folks out there, thank you all so much for sticking around to
I
the
can
end.
help you with the practice.
To the end of this triple episode.
Ready? Here's the location.
Yeah.
Library.
I'll give you a profession. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man
you're
in the
being
library. Yeah.
Very, very quiet. Gotta be quiet. But hold on, lizards killed the librarian.
Yeah.
But be quiet.
React.
This is Quiet Library.
Yeah.
You have to save the world.
That's the name of the show. Quiet Library.
Yeah.
It is a show.
It's an improv show.
It was an improv show.
Oh.
You don't remember this? There's a TV show called Quiet Library that was an improv show.
Again, we were trying to close out.
Are you talking
the
about like
episode.
that game show thing that they did?
Sort of.
Yeah, no. This would be an improv show you go to called Quiet Library.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and then all of the improv actors, it's all taking place in this quiet library.
Right.
So the whole performance of
Yes.
whatever happens.
Yes.
You could be driving in cars and doing all the things, but when you sit and you go like this, but it's like keep it down.
Yeah.
I'll
We
say,
are in a quiet
most of
library.
my improv shows feel like they're taking place in a quiet library.
Yeah, just a lot of silence and then a distant
Yeah.
Page turn.
Why is the cough the go-to? It's very quiet.
It's the best.
Right?
Well, it's the best. When I was a kid, I know you want to.
I've been trying to end this for 15 minutes, but keep going.
I'm sorry.
When I was a kid, me and my cousin Christian,
Yep.
we were like 12. Every time we'd go to church, he'd be like, "Don't listen for coughs. Don't listen for coughs." And they'd be like, "All right, well, now we're gonna have there's after peace be with you. After you do communion, you're quiet. Everyone's quiet, and me and Christian would be there, and you're just like in the back here." And like it'd be like a crazy old man
And then you
cough.
start laughing.
Yeah.
We'd always do that.
That's great.
so
Yeah.
good.
No,
Anyway,
I'm definitely aware of it now at church since you've told me that story.
isn't that so-
I like the idea of somebody being at church and just hear. I'm just thinking of like things you hear in the distance,
Yep.
audio wise, in a crowd, and I just pictured like somebody giving a sermon, and you just hear like, "This guy sucks." Boo! Right? Get off the stage. Yeah. Yeah. Fucking boring. Right? Like just a lot of that stuff. Anyway, if you look at Leviticus,
More Spider-Man.
you're bombing.
It's my bachelorette party.
Oh, you went back to Leviticus? Oh my God. That's so fun.
That's wicked fun.
Yep.
That's great.
Folks, thank you for sticking with us for this quadruple episode of Funbearable. We enjoyed
We're
it a
not going
lot.
to put out another episode for 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's true. The connection where
You know what's next week? Our
What?
DC crossover episode.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're going to lose people and get the wrong ones.
The comedy connection is going to be closed for remodeling, so we won't be able
That's
to be in
right.
this space.
Our Patreon
so
is going
that's
to take
why
such a hit.
That's why we've had to record 4 episodes this one afternoon.
We're going to cut these up, right?
Yeah, just throw it to be continued up
Yeah.
there.
We don't have to record again until September.
But folks out there, we really do appreciate you. If you want to follow us on social media, share some episodes, we'd appreciate that as well. We're at Funbearable Pod everywhere, or funbearablepod@gmail.com.
And matreon.org
Yep. It's
slash
nonprofit.
fun pod bear.
Yeah, they didn't
because
have
Dot,
we couldn't do
dot
it.
able.
Yeah, we couldn't do Funbearable pod.
Yeah, somebody else got
somebody
it.
else.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
For our special guest, George Lucas.
Wherever he may be.
For Ray Harrington, for Chuck Staten, I am Brad Rohr saying thank you so much, and we're sorry for being Funbearable. That episode didn't feel that long.